Sounds like something a Habs fan would say. What would be? Hey Jude, don't get the dirt. Dun, 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 dun. Get rid of that. I will pull up my restream on here so I can monitor the chat. This should... This is going to allow me to see all the chats. Hey, Bemused is on Twitch. Bemused, how are you? I enjoy voting. I'll vote tomorrow. Hey, very nice. I'm just requesting a stop from scolding. Yep, okay, makes sense. I will consider that when I see that. Any conservatives that want to come up? Any liberals that want to come up? Let's have a chat. Co-host. I'm so sorry, Isaac. I'm trying to do debates tonight, so I won't do the co-host right now. Hey. Why is that not working? Oh, God. What a weak nonsense argument. Hey, if you have a better argument, come on down. Request up. Let's talk about it. No. This is a joke, right? Nope, not a joke. Come on up. Let's talk. Let's chat. 1v1, bro. 1v1 me, bro. 1v1 me, bro. Environmental consulting and farmer outdoor common sense. Yes. Faces that match the opinion. Yeah, let's mute these clowns. Let's not block everybody, because I like it when they have to watch from the sidelines. If you believe judgment has done anything, then I can't change your mind. I can change my mind when presented with evidence. I'm not like you, maybe. You're here saying he can't lead a country because he dropped a pizza? I mean, that's probably a pretty good indicator. Probably lost the Italian vote with that one, for sure. I'm at work, can't join the live. Oh, okay. I only blocked one for Jughead. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty common. Can't lead a country because he sold us out. Sold us out how? Come on down. I will be inviting up people that are saying things, and if you do decline to come up, I will be muting you for the live. My mods know to do that as well too. I'm not going to just sit here responding to comments all night. I want to actually speak to people, so would love to join, but you can't. Yeah, no, absolutely you can. Absolutely you can. Yeah, didn't realize people are going to vote NDP. Lots of people are. Lots of people are. Probably the smartest people if they're working class people. I mean, if you're rich or you're a business person, yeah, I could see you voting conservative. Why? Why what? Why what? Why what? Why what? Can we get a bubble gum? Just kidding. I don't want to start asking for gifts. That's kind of cringe. But we've got videos attached to the bubble gum. We've got videos attached to the flour, and we've got videos attached to the flowers, the confetti, the hand hearts, and the bubble gum. All have videos attached to them now. Can you explain how NDP would help our economy? By taking care of people's basic needs, and then that would decrease the amount of mod vintage on Twitch. I can do that. Let me just do that. Let me do that. I'm on Twitch, baby, Twitch, baby, 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 baby. Moderate. Yes, there we go. Moderate. JK, come on down. If you have an issue with anything that I'm saying, come on up. Don't be a coward. Get up here. He hasn't helped Canada. Okay. We have pharmacare, dental care, child care, school food program, anti-scab legislation, all because of the NDP under Jagmeet Singh. He's accomplished more with 25 seats than anybody. What's the Twitch for? I'm going on Twitch and YouTube as well right now. I really feel like if we left-leaning people vote NDP, we give a seat to the Conservatives. Well, that's because you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. People don't understand the government exists to provide services and redistribute wealth. Yeah. Those are two functions that are possible. He's caused more damage than help. How? Can you explain? Can you actually come up and explain to me, Tony? Where's Tony? Where's Tony? Why isn't he coming up? Why isn't he coming up? More debt. Oh, I'm not letting that person up. Not with a name like that. Mods are starting to hand out mutes if you're not requesting up, or if you're not going to come up. You will be muted. The only way to actually speak your mind is to come up into the box. So you might as well do it. You might as well do it. Otherwise, you're just being sent into the void. Sent into the void. We'll go with this. No, let's not do the fixed. I don't want the fixed. Not fixed. Not the mama. Am I drinking a Habs drink? No, it's sugar-free Cove soda. It's like a probiotic soda. Why does everybody hate conservatives? I mean, what's to like? Habs fan and NDP supporter, pick a struggle. Hilarious. Hilarious. This guy's a comedian. We got a comedian. Hey, yeah, come on down. Let's have a chat. If you have the testicular fortitude to do so. Otherwise, fuck off. And we'll send you into the shadow realm. Maybe because conservatives support all the things that go against humanity. Yeah, no, absolutely. Voted against childcare, voted against dental care, voted against food for kids in school, voted against everything that's good. I'm sick, maybe later. Okay, well. Into the void you go. Into the void. Confused young voter, who should I really vote for? Whoever you want. Vote for whoever you want. Whoever you feel is that best represents you. I'm an NDP supporter. That's who I'll be voting for. I have my reasons. I explain my reasons quite a bit. But definitely not PP. Lucky Luna just making shit up in the chat. Lucky Luna, come on down. Lucky the Border Collie. That's cringe. You've got a TikTok account for your dog? Yeah, mute those. Mute them all. Mute them. Mute them. Yeah, if you want to talk, come up. This might be the smartest Habs fan I ever met. Hey. Hey. Yeah. Let's pin that. Pin it. Pin it. I knew that they'd be afraid to. All the conservatives, all they do is just yap in the comments. They're way too afraid to actually come up and have a conversation. Oh, shit. We got one. Are you actually a dog? Are you like an actual border collie or? Oh, okay. So you like the conservatives? Why are you voting conservative? How old are you? How old are you? Okay. I mean, you just got the ability to vote, so you want to change from something that you've never had? How? In which way? Do you work? Do you work? Do you have a job? Yeah, ours is number 2 in the G7. Ours is number 2 in the G7. Yeah, it's number 2 in the G7. Do you work? Yes, per capita. I understand the question. Do you work? Okay, for how long? Oh, okay, cool. Cool. So somebody that doesn't work is telling working people what's best for them. Cool. So GDP per capita. Yeah, part-time job. Cool. So GDP per capita. Hours wise, yes, absolutely. They are. They can vote. Yeah, no, absolutely. 18-year-olds can vote. Yep. Yeah, but you have like almost zero life experience. You're 18, you work part-time. Right. Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. So GDP per capita, we're number 2 in the G7. Okay. I see what's going on here. Right, yeah. You've got the same script as everyone else. Yeah, so it's not immigration. So how is immigration, which has barely increased, maybe about 50 to 100,000 for the entire country from baseline rates, how is that affecting anything? Can you explain? What? Our GDP per capita hasn't, like, it was minus during COVID, just like in the US, and it changes from year to year, but the average has been around 1.7% over the last 10 years. Move to Brampton, then talk? Okay, so you're a racist? Okay, cool. Not you, somebody in the chat. Mm-hmm. No, I want you to explain exactly how it's affecting, because I've heard this GDP per capita argument. Usually people lie and say that it's 0.5% over the last 10 years, which is not true. It's actually around 1.7%. Yeah, no, I mean, well, that lie's been debunked. That's why people have stopped using it. But I want you to explain why immigration has affected these things. And why has immigration increased over the last 2 years? There's a specific reason why immigration has specifically increased over the last 2 years. It has to do with a certain program. And so I'm just asking for you to explain how that actually affects things. But there's nothing wrong with our per capita growth, though. There's nothing, like, we're number 2 in the G7. So there's actually nothing wrong with our per capita growth.
It's not increasing, it's declining, and it's not stagnant. It's like going down.
Where's your source for this?
I need to find it. I searched it up yesterday, but I can try to find it really quickly.
Obama.
So it increased in, there was a 20% increase in GDP per capita growth in 2021, 5.7% increase.
I was saying over the 2 consecutive years, not in 2021, but the 2 last years.
Yeah.
Not talking about before.
Okay.
It's basically just, it just describes individuals which are getting poorer, and then it also describes the standard of living, which
so GDP per capita is not indicative of what people are being paid. You want to look at the median income for that. That's going to tell you what people are actually being paid. In my case, my wage at work.
Inflation.
My wage at work. Inflation is the price of goods going up. Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably getting paid more, right?
Sorry? No, I did. I actually, my wages were frozen for 3 years, but it wasn't by the federal government. It was by our provincial government in Ontario, which is a conservative government. So they froze my wages for 3 years. The only reason I got an increase of the size that I did at the end of that was because I'm part of a union, and we bargained for better wages, and we bargained to get rid of that. It was actually struck down, that wage freeze, by the courts, but the conservative government fought it tooth and nail to make sure that it stayed in place. And so any effect on my actual pay has been by conservatives at the provincial level, right? Because the federal government doesn't control jobs. It's out at a provincial level, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, thank you for the squirrel. Thank you for the roses. Appreciate you. I haven't set a sound for the squirrel yet. So what's actually indicative of what people are being paid is the median income. The GDP is just our gross domestic product overall divided by the amount of people, which isn't telling you how much people are being paid, because we have a lot of billionaires in Canada, and there's a lot of wealth being hoarded. The reason why immigration went up in the last 2 years is partly because conservative premiers in Alberta and conservative premier here in Ontario were begging the federal government to increase the amount of temporary foreign workers. And so places like Tim Hortons take advantage of that, and they're only hiring temporary foreign workers, which means that people in the local area aren't getting jobs It means that
Yeah,
these
I agree with
temporary
that.
foreign workers, well, I mean, there's only the conservatives are not going to stop that. The liberals are not going to stop that. There's only one party that has said that they would stop that.
NDP has said they would stop that.
Yes. Yeah, they're the only party that has taken the stance that they would end the temporary foreign worker program because it disadvantages those temporary foreign workers who are making less than minimum wage in some cases. The UN has compared it to modern day S word, right? And so the only people that actually benefit from that is corporations that are taking advantage of these programs and hiring only temporary foreign workers so that they can pay them less, therefore make a bigger profit. And everybody else is suffering, including the temporary foreign workers themselves. Yes.
Pierre Polyev has also expressed like his intentions to significantly reduce the number of temporary residents as well, which include
he wants
workers.
to decrease immigration, which isn't the same as saying that he would end the temporary foreign worker program, which he has not said he would do. And it's actually line item number 43 from the conservative documents that says that they want to increase the amount of foreign investment in companies and foreign ownership of companies. And that includes housing as well, too. The only party that's ever banned foreign ownership of homes is the NDP party in BC, who banned foreign ownership of homes in BC. They also, at the same time, banned Airbnb for anywhere that's over 10,000 people that live there, so that they wouldn't affect the tourism industry, because that would be the one caveat to that. And what that's done is it's actually had a downward pressure on the prices of homes. I mean, in BC, it's already past the point where, it's already bad. Vancouver and Toronto are the two areas that its housing prices are out of control. Housing is a municipal responsibility in Ontario anyways, which means that the municipal level is they're the ones that are actually in charge of building homes, doing the permits for homes, doing the zoning for homes. So a lot rides on the municipal government to be able to build homes. They're supported financially from the province and from the federal government. Some examples would be but those funding, that funding is going to these municipalities. So in the case of the province in Ontario, credit where credit's due, they have been rewarding municipalities for meeting building targets. Is it what I think is the best way to alleviate this? No, but at least it's something, and it's not completely negative. And then at the federal level, they have the housing accelerator funds, which I live in a small town of less than 10,000 people. And because of the housing accelerator funds, they're now able to put 300 new permits for new housing units in my town. 40% of those being mixed. So affordable homes, geared to income homes, mixed in with the larger ones, because if you're only building a bunch of $1 million homes, that's not going to do anything for regular working people, right? So the solution is to build these lower end homes. I would much rather see community housing, cooperative housing built, but I mean, these are at least positive, in the right direction sort of things. But the conservatives, the only thing for the conservative plan for housing is that they want to give a tax cut to the people that build the house. That's not going to help regular people.
Well, he's got a very extensive plan for housing.
What does that entail?
The main thing is municipalities would be required to increase housing. Which would start by
So yeah, he has a punitive
annually.
approach where if municipalities don't do something, they get punished. There's already plans in place to give municipalities money so that they can build more homes. So that's not new. It's just a worse version of what's already happening. The other thing that I've seen him talk about is giving tax cuts on new builds, which developers would be the only ones that benefit from that because they wouldn't be paying taxes on the houses that they're building.
Well, he'd eliminate the goods and service tax.
Yeah,
on new
GST.
homes,
Yep.
priced under 1.3 million.
Right. Yeah. Which, I mean, yeah. A $1.3 million home's not helping anybody in the regular working class, right? That's why I was saying Toronto and Vancouver. That's really the only place that you're going to see homes like that on the regular.
Well, there'd also be like federal incentives for municipalities to reduce development charges. So that would probably save home buyers
development charges now. So the one problem with that, and we've already been when seeing it, is that municipalities have been having to increase property taxes more and more every year now because they're losing a bunch of revenue sources like that. And so when you're taking away a revenue source from a municipality like that, they have to make up for it somewhere else to be able to provide the minimum level of services that they're doing. And so all that's going to do now is increase the amount of property tax that people are going to have to pay. For instance, where I live, in the municipality I live in, the property taxes went up over 3% this year, whereas baseline for most places is around 2% increase.
Okay.
Whereas if you just give financial incentives to municipalities for meeting building targets, which is probably one of the best things that the Conservative government has done here in the province, that's a much more positive approach than to penalize for not meeting targets and taking away revenue sources from municipalities. Because if you're taking away a source of money for them, they have to make up for it somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the cuts to the taxes, expecting developers to pass on the savings from them when they build, because they're saving the GST, expecting them to pass on that savings is trickle down economics, which since the 80s has not worked. Like, I was born in the 80s. That's how long trickle down economic theory has been around. It does not work. It does not trickle down to regular people. Corporations hold on to that. The price of housing is plateaued, essentially. They're not going to undercut and make less money when the whole point of a corporation is to make as much profit as possible, like legally. They're obligated to make as much profit as possible.
Wouldn't you agree that like the real reason that property taxes are so high is because the housing supply hasn't kept up with demand?
There's no issue with supply whatsoever. The issue is greed. All these problems can boil down, like all these problems we can trace back to capitalism. The problem is the profit motive. I feel like
lots of people are struggling to find housing right now, like affordable housing.
But why? 20% of homes in Canada are owned by corporations. We have people that are buying up, 10, 20, 30 homes to rent them out either on Airbnb or as a landlord. Those houses should be lived in by people. At the end of the day, they're hoarding a resource which people need. Houses are for living in. They're not an investment vehicle for people to make profit off of. And that's why we're seeing the problem that we are. You have landlords that are going on apps now where they're colluding with each other to price fix rentals and raise the rents and stuff like that. It's greed at the end of the day that's causing all these problems. We have nearly 1 million empty units, housing units across the country, which are just being sat on. Some municipalities are trying to address
Really?
this with vacancy taxes. So if you leave it vacant, you pay 5% a year, the value of the home, as a vacancy tax, as an incentive for people to sell these properties that they're not living in, that they're leaving vacant. And what these large companies will do is they leave them vacant, because what that does is it allows them to just sit on it, artificially reduce the supply, and increase the price of it over time. It's an investment thing. So these large corporations are sitting on hundreds, thousands in some cases, of homes. All that does is reduces the supply artificially, because it's not people that are living in those homes. Oftentimes they're vacant. Even in my small town of less than 10,000 people, there's vacant homes everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're not being rented out because people can't pay the rent that people are demanding, because there's a huge, when I was looking to buy a house a couple of years ago, there was so many houses that were like half flipped, because people have it in their mind that they're going to make a quick buck. They're going to buy a house, they're going to flip it, and then, sell it for so much more. There was one house that we were looking at that was bought and resold with nothing done to it, and they wanted to sell it for another almost $100,000 after a year. It's because people have it in their mind that they're going to make a quick buck off of real estate. They see it as an investment opportunity to make passive income. And so everybody is suffering as a result of this. It comes down to, greed at the end of the day, from my point of view. We can build all the houses we want, but if the same people just buy them all up again and sit on them and squeeze out working families from being able to buy and live in those homes, then we're going to still be in the same issue. And that's why I have a problem with policies like Pierre Poilievre's that only help the companies, the corporations, the building corporations. Right. And other things like his tax cut
I can see how that can help. Yeah. Yeah. So you would want to expand vacancy taxes then?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Right now in Ottawa, it's 5%. It should be. I don't know. If you put it too high, people are gonna be very upset. But I mean, 10%, 15%. Something that actually gives people an incentive, and it's not just something that they're going to write off or whatever. And that's only like if they're leaving it vacant, if they're never living in it, right? Like if somebody has like a cottage, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like somebody has a cottage on the lake. That's completely different, right? I don't want that I'm not going after people's cottages. I just think that you shouldn't own 10 homes.
Well, yeah.
I don't think that that's very controversial, right? And Jagmeet Singh has said that he wants to ban corporate ownership of homes, right? Which is a great idea. Like homes are for people to live in, right? Like, and that doesn't mean like apartment buildings and stuff like that wouldn't be owned, although it'd be much better if they were cooperative, because there's a lot of...
Yeah, like I agree with some of the things that he said, but I just don't agree with everything. And I also, like, do you feel like you're throwing away your vote if you're voting for NDP? Because...
No, I'm in an area where I could literally draw a stick man on it and it would have the same effect as voting for anybody but conservative. So
okay.
Yeah.
Wait, which area are you in?
I'm I'm in the Leeds and Grenville riding. It's like 60 to 65% of the vote usually goes conservative, so there's not really a chance for anybody else. I honestly, it's something I don't understand. I don't understand why people vote that way this year here, because it's not a very affluent area. Like people aren't, super rich here, but for whatever reason, in my view, conservatives care only about corporations, businesses, landlords, the rich, people with money. They don't care about regular working folks, even though they say they do. They do say they do a lot. But I just
they
don't
do,
buy
definitely.
it.
I think he
buy it.
does care about students.
How?
Like, he's expressed his concern over.
Yeah, of course he has, because
tuition.
he wants their vote, right? But what actual things is he going to do to? Is he going to forgive student loan debt? Is he going to subsidize secondary or post-secondary education so that it's cheaper for people? It's pretty cheap in Canada still, but it could be cheaper. It could be free. There's a lot of countries around the world where it's free, right, to be educated. And there's
no, tuition has been insane. Like, it keeps increasing. It's actually
for sure. Well, I mean, they want to get rid of all the foreign students, which is them paying more for school is what subsidized. That's what subsidized it for everybody else, right? But they want to get rid of that. So I mean, it's a double-edged sword, so to speak.
Oh yeah, like Padiev has proposed extending the cap on international student admissions.
Extending the cap, like making it so that the cap lasts longer, sort of thing. Is that what you mean? Or I hadn't heard this, so. The one reason I could never support Pierre Poilievre, because he's been in power in politics for 20 years and has literally done nothing. He's just kind of ridden the coattails of everybody else around. When he became the leader, arguably he was installed by the Indian government, which is what the RCMP or CSIS is telling us now, that they have reason to believe that he was installed by the Indian government. Since then, he's been very kind of serious or whatever. And I mean, he talks very well to his base and such, but he's been in politics. He's been in the governing, during the Stephen Harper years, he held high level positions, but still did nothing. They sold off hundreds of thousands of affordable homes to investment people. Right, because
but what has Jagmeet Singh done over his years as well? Like, I feel like
with 25, so they only have 25 seats, the NDP, and when the Liberals won a minority government, they basically held the balance of power. So without the NDP, no party would be able to vote out the Liberals if they were to vote confidence in them, essentially. So no confidence vote against a minority government means that if you can get enough votes other than that minority government, you can boot them out, essentially. What the NDP did with that is they said, okay, we have an opportunity here to get a lot of really good legislation passed. And so they said they started a supply and confidence agreement. So the supply and confidence means we will have confidence in your government, meaning we won't vote against you in a non-confidence vote, but we want this supply. And that supply was a framework of legislation that included pharmacare, dental care, child care, and a school food program, amongst other things as well. And so over the last 2 years, what they've gotten done is they've gotten all of these things passed. The pharmacare and dental care are things that should have been part of our healthcare for decades, and they haven't been.
Yeah, I understand that.
Optometry as well, too, is one that should be added.
The reason I'm against NDP is I just feel like they want higher taxes on businesses and jobs, which is going to push them out of Canada.
That's a myth that doesn't actually pan out in the end. So this is the taxes. Oh, it's kind of big for. This is the tax platform. It might be hard to see. Oh, did I not make it small enough? No, I did not. Let me try it. So if you can see the first
I
half
don't
of
take
this,
civics.
the first half of all of this, right? So from here down, from here down is $50,000 a year and down. 50% of people that file their taxes fall into this category.
Okay.
So the NDP is proposing tax cuts. These are the NDP tax cuts, the orange. So it's going to be the highest out of all the parties for 50% of people that file their taxes. For the next bracket,
So they're
it's pretty
cutting
much
taxes.
Yep. For the next bracket, they're also proposing to cut GST on essentials permanently, children's clothes, prepared foods, restaurants. That's going to be cut permanently. So what we went through in the holidays
It's
were
just hard to believe because I feel like their entire platform is built on expanding government spending.
I think you've been misinformed. Well, they're not necessarily going to expand government spending. It's what we're spending it on. Right? We're spending it on people instead of corporations. So instead of giving tax breaks to corporations, which decreases the amount of money that we're bringing in, we're giving tax breaks to regular working folks. So everybody that's making...
but then we're going to be increasing it somewhere else, like corporate taxes.
You don't even need to. All you need to do is remove tax breaks. So they're getting tax breaks on certain things. All that means is now they're not getting tax breaks and they're paying their fair of taxes. Places like Amazon that pay $0 in tax, they pay $0 in corporate tax. I pay close to $20,000 a year in taxes. So why is a multi-billion-dollar corporation paying nothing in taxes, but I have to pay close to $20,000 a year in taxes, right? So instead, what that's going to do is Amazon will have to pay the taxes that they should be paying, right? It's not an increase. Yeah. They're just having to pay the taxes that they should be. They're not getting any more tax breaks. And then that extra revenue that we would be bringing in from that is going to pay for tax cuts for the people that need it most, because multi-billion-dollar corporations don't need that.
So those multi-dollar corporations, they might want to move out of Canada. Wouldn't it discourage businesses from expanding?
They're not gonna move out of Canada. It's something that they say. It's a bluff. It's something that they say to scare people into thinking that, but it's not something that actually pans out in the end. And I mean, if they do, then we just nationalize that. But that's a whole other conversation.
Well, I mean, Carney's a good example of that. Like, he moved his business to New York.
Yeah.
To avoid taxes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for closing those tax loopholes, right? And I'm all for an exit tax as well too. If you wanna take all of your assets out of Canada and to put it into another country, you're gonna pay a certain amount of taxes on the way out, right? Because we need to close those tax loopholes. People like that are making billions of dollars a year or millions of dollars a year, and they're offshoring their money and stuff like that. That needs to end, right? Because that's revenue. No, they have an additional offer. Yeah, Brookfield. Yeah, it doesn't belong to Carney. I mean, that's neither here nor there. If that is what's happening, like theoretically, then it's not a good thing. Right. Whether or not it's happening is another conversation altogether, which I don't think it really is happening the way that it's being said. But we do need to close tax loopholes so that corporations are actually paying their fair share. Like, I shouldn't be paying more than Amazon. I shouldn't be paying more than Walmart. And,
that's fair.
Which brings up another point as well too, is that Walmart pays their people so little, right? Like, they don't pay a living wage at Walmart.
What's their minimum wage? I don't know what.
The minimum wage here in Ontario is $17.40 or $17.70. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, ours is 15 in Alberta.
Oh, okay, you're in Alberta. But that's not a livable. That's not a livable wage. That actually explains so much, but I'm just kidding. That's not a livable wage. A livable wage in my area is around $23 to $25 an hour, right?
You got the Oilers hat though.
Oh, it's a Canadian's hat.
Oh,
It's
never
a
mind.
Habs. Kind of the same shape as the Oilers, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not a hockey fan.
Oh no, you're
Really?
good. You're good. Don't say that too much around there, but no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Walmart pays so little though; they don't pay a living wage. So what happens is
Yeah.
people need to use social services more, and we end up paying to subsidize those wages through our taxes, anyways, because people are struggling because they're not
Yeah,
paying
that's
enough,
horrible.
right? So
Yeah.
that kind of stuff needs to end as well too. But I mean, there's I sound like a broken record at this point, but there's only one party that cares about that. And it's not the
Yeah.
Conservatives. The Conservatives have never, ever, like, they care more about your boss than they do you. Right. So you're in
Well-
food service, you said, though, which is tough. That's a tough one, right? Like usually the profit margins are razor thin to begin with. But if you consider
Except
like,
tips are really great in the summer.
right, but imagine you were actually paid properly instead of your boss relying on people to subsidize your wages through tips, right?
I actually do. I get paid quite a bit at my job. I get like $17 an hour. Which I
That's
think
not
is a
bad.
lot.
It's not bad. It's not a living wage,
Yeah.
though, I'm sure. For your area, it's probably not. Your area is probably 23, 25, just like mine. That's what it is for most areas in the world. Or, sorry, Canada. Toronto and other places like that, it's probably a little bit higher, actually. I probably wouldn't even make
Yeah.
enough to live in Toronto, and I'm making like close to 40 an hour, so. It's,
So why aren't you voting for... Sorry. Why aren't you voting for Liberal?
That's a whole other story. I could never support the Liberals. The Conservatives, in my view, are worse than the Liberals, because at least the Liberals are socially progressive to an extent, but they're anti-worker in my view. They broke 3 strikes in the last year. They sent workers back to work when they were on strike, which strikes and collective bargaining are the tools through which working people are able to bargain for better wages and better living working conditions. So to break a strike is like a red line to me. Like, that's inexcusable. To use like the terms of Christianity, it's like an unforgivable sin sort of thing. I can't do that. The Conservatives would do the same thing, maybe even worse. So obviously I don't support them, but I can't support a party that thinks it's okay to break a strike. Justin Trudeau also promised in 2015 that he would do electoral reform, which he didn't. He didn't. He saw that it. The mixed member proportional representation that was recommended to him would not help him at that time, so he refused it. And I mean, we would be in a much better place right now if we had mixed member proportional representation rather than the first past the post system that we have now. In first past the post,
I do agree with that. Yeah.
65% of votes are basically thrown out. So in 2011, Conservatives got 39% of the vote, 100% of the legislative power, because they got a majority government. So 39% of people that actually went out and voted decided the party that got all the power. And in 2015, the Liberals got 39% of the vote. And 100% of the legislative power. In my view, that's not democratic, because, you know, a lot of votes are thrown out and don't count. And so what that leads to is voter apathy. People feel like even if they vote, it doesn't mean anything. And so voter turnout just declines and declines and declines. In 2021, the voter turnout was 62%. So say for instance, that they got 39% of the vote and there was a 62% turnout, right? That means that, you know, less than 20% of eligible voters decided the party that has all of the power. So it's and that's insane.
No, yeah, I agree with, like, I don't think that's very fair. But has ND or has Singh come out with any policies?
Yeah, they will do electoral reform. They will move to a mixed member proportional representation system. Yeah. That's been their policy for quite some time. So, the problem that the NDP has, why am I not eating? I already ate before I went on. Some guy got really mad one night because I was eating a salad while I was streaming, but there was like a bunch of people up here. I don't need to talk.
Oh,
at least I was eating healthy. Come on. Yeah, our voting system's fucked up. Because if, for example, you know, look at polling here, 9%. NDP is looking at, they have, according to aggregate polling data anyways, 9% of the vote. But if you look at how many seats they're projected to win, where is it? They're projected to only win, where's the seat projections? 8 seats, right? And we have 343 seats now. So 343. Oh no, we got to do it the other way around. Got to do 8 divided by 343. So that means,
have to leave soon.
Oh, no problem. That means that they're only getting 2.3% of the seats available with 9% of the vote. So their representation is much less than the amount of people that voted for them.
Yeah, like I've never agreed with how our voting is in Canada. Like I've always thought it was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So I do agree with
but
that.
Yeah, I'll let you go.
All right,
sorry for coming off so strong at the beginning.
Yeah, it's okay. You're making fun of my dog.
No, I was just trying. I was trying to make jokes, but it wasn't landing. That's okay. It's a cute dog, though.
Thank you.
All right. So have a good night.
We'll see you. I don't know how to get off, but
I'll disconnect you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Ooh, boy. Is there other conservatives that want to come up? Who's this? I don't see a name. That wasn't too bad, yeah. I was a little bit of a dick at the beginning, but I was a little bit of a dick at the beginning. Whoa, I can hear myself. I don't like that. I was a little bit of a dick at the beginning. Whoa, I can hear myself.
How's it going?
Not bad. You?
I'm doing all right. I got muted on my other accounts. I had to pull up this account.
Oh, shit. Okay. Can I just get your name?
Johnny Boy.
Johnny.
Oh, shit.
Can I just can you mute whatever that is? Is that?
Yeah, I muted it.
Okay. Your catfish account. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments.
No, that's all right.
So how old are you?
I am 24.
24, okay. Are you voting conservative?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess my first question is always why?
Just because a lot of the political platform that they have and everything that they're supporting, I support also.
Okay. What specifically?
What do I support? I support the pipelines they're talking. They're talking about cutting tax. I support that as well.
Cutting tax.
Yeah. We're cutting the carbon tax completely, rejecting Bill C-69.
So what is it about Bill C-69 that you don't like?
Well, it's just a big tax on everybody, like on the whole entire country as a whole.
Isn't that just the one that if they're going to build any new pipelines, it has to be environmentally sound?
Yeah, there's that one.
That's Bill C-69, though.
Is that one 69? I thought it was 67. Which is the one on the carbon tax?
Maybe I'm getting them confused. But yeah, the carbon tax, the consumer carbon tax has already dropped down to 0. So that one's gone already.
It's
but
not
I
gone.
suppose
it hasn't passed through Parliament.
Yeah, they haven't
Mark
removed.
Carney
They need to sit
reduced
first.
it.
Yeah, they need to sit first.
Yeah,
They brought
they
it down to
reduced
0.
it, so
Yeah, they did
It
what's
may
called an
look
order
gone
in
on
council.
paper to us, right? We're not paying
So
money.
I guess you're saying you support removing the other carbon tax as well too, like on corporations.
Yeah.
Why?
Like, remove all the carbon tax. Why are we paying for that? Like,
Well, one
our
of the
carbon
biggest
footprint
reasons is
as a
because
country
we're
is so small.
Sorry, you asked a question, so I was going to answer it.
Yeah. My bad.
The reason why we is because we're part of the Paris Accord, so we need some sort of carbon pricing. Otherwise, we're going to be subjected to what's called carbon tariffs with our trade in Europe. So if we don't have some sort of carbon pricing, we'll be subject to those. So that's one of the big reasons. The other reason as well too is that climate change is real, and we need to do something to address it. In Canada, we're one of the highest per capita producers of carbon pollution. So that would be reason number 2. And are you familiar with the idea of externalities? Oh, he was gonna not stop talking. I don't think we needed to unmute him or mute him.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry.
Did somebody mute me?
Yeah. It's okay. It wasn't me, but it's okay. We're good now. So
Jumpy, eh?
yeah, it's all good. It's all good. There, I got a good mod team. They're quick with that. Sorry. Are you familiar with externalities? Was my question.
I said no.
So the idea of externalities is corporations have a certain amount of things that they pay for, right? Like you have your revenue that you bring in, and then you're usually balancing that against your costs. And your costs are your input costs, typically labor or whatever other costs. Externalities is the idea of costs that are external to those that you pay for. For instance, pollution. So say there's a widget factory and they're producing a certain amount of particulate pollution that goes up and out of a smokestack and into the environment. That causes costs associated with that pollution, dirtying rivers, killing off trees, human health implications like people getting sick, which increases that's healthcare costs right there.
Yeah.
Costs to remediate dirty streams, costs to replant trees, or to forestry costs. So these are costs that are externalized outside of the business that they're not directly paying for.
Yeah.
And that's basically being picked up by society at large. And so the carbon pricing is one way of making corporations pay for those externalities. So it's a way for them to have to pay for those things that they normally don't pay for, but they are the cause of. So you know, if you're an oil and gas company, right? Oil and gas companies are one of the biggest producers of carbon pollution. They have a lot of money to put propaganda out there, so that's why it's like such a hot topic. So it's just a way of making them pay for those externalities.
Yeah, and I see that. Like, I understand where you're coming from, but without that stuff, where are we as a country? You know what I mean? Like,
how do you mean?
Bad, pros and cons. Like, if you don't made a list of pros and cons, like, I'm not saying like I don't care about the environment or it's not, we don't got to do something to prevent climate change, but is there actually somewhere where you can go and look to find where their carbon tax money's going?
Well, carbon tax. So the carbon tax program it isn't. I don't know about anymore because they've changed it up by reducing the consumer carbon tax to zero. I don't know how that. And then they got rid of the rebates, right? So the rebates are no more. Which a lot of people are going to lose, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on that. Like in Ontario, it's $1,800 for a family, where some families are only spending $300 a year in carbon tax. That's $1,500 a year now that they're not going to have. It's a car.
Say that. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I just don't want you to skip the point. But you say that, but then you think back, like, how much has inflation rise since the carbon tax came in? So how much of that money, sure, on paper, like, let's say I go and buy a car and I'm paying, X amount on fuel, right? Like, if I add up all my carbon tax on my bills that I'm paying for, okay, I'm losing. I only spend $500 a year on carbon tax out of my pocket, right?
Yeah.
Out of my bank account, we'll say, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at, okay, now I'm spending an extra $1,000 on this car I'm buying because it come out of their pocket, and I'm getting clipped with that remaining. I'm go to the grocery store.
So there's been studies on this. So there has been studies on this. The Parliamentary Budget Office, they have parliamentary in their name, but they're actually a third party that looks at the books and determines like government spending and how government is spending.
I love Tesla.
Hey, Stephanie, thank you so much. Oh, it's all good. It looks at how that government spending affects the big picture. And like, shortfalls in certain spending and stuff like that. They can tell. We have a similar thing in Ontario. It's called the Financial Accountability Office of Ontario. They do the same thing, but with Ontario government spending. The PBO has stated that the increase to inflation from the carbon tax is between 0.1 to 0.2%. So they've already crunched the numbers on that. Because what you got to think is that a big truck that's moving soup across the country, right, from the soup factory, which it's not in Toronto anymore, but I used to live by the soup factory in Toronto. Everybody loves these tangents, I'm sure. But you're moving soup across the country, right? You're paying carbon tax for that fuel, right? But you have to think that carbon tax is now split across that entire shipment. Yeah. So it's not going to be even cents. It's not even going to be cents per can. It's going to be less than that, right?
Yeah. No, and I get that. And then so the carbon tax is its own thing, which in my eyes is just, it's another tax that's taxed on to taxes, right? Like you could see, I was looking at something the other day where it's like out of your dollar, 43% immediately goes to tax.
No, that's not true. Where'd you read that?
On the what was it? I don't have the website right in front of me right now, but where is it?
If you're adding up every single tax, federal income tax, provincial income tax, if you pay what's it called? Sorry, property tax. And GST, HST, whatever you're paying, if you add them all up, that's typically when people give out those numbers, that's what they're doing. But you can't really do that because it doesn't really work out that way. Yeah. Can I ask you a personal question? Like how much you make a year?
Over 100 grand.
Okay.
I make
so
$55.
You're not hurting then.
Well, I am. I support.
How are you hurting if you're making almost double me, dude?
Because the stuff that I got to do in my day to day to make that money. I got to live on the road. So a lot of my, let's say for this year instance, I made $112,000 take home, gross, right? My net was below that, obviously. And then what happens, I paid $35,000 in tax this year.
Yeah, I pay close to 20 myself. So this is your tax bracket. This is what the parties are going to cut from. This is just income tax.
Yeah.
And so you can see everybody's going to cut taxes. But for most people, 50% of people are in this bracket here, 50,000 and below.
Yeah.
So the only party that's going to cut taxes for most people is the NDP.
And I see that, but my question is, so how much do you make?
Close to 80. Just a little under 80,000. Yeah.
So what do you do for work? What is your line of work?
I'm in protective services. I'm in close protection. So I protect people.
And so security.
Yeah,
right?
But it's different than security, but yeah.
Yeah. Why did you choose that job scope?
To make money. Like I used to be a door-to-door salesman for 10 years. Yeah. I was making over 100 a year, but without it being taxed. That kind of dried up because of in Ontario it became illegal to do what I was doing. And so I had to kind of find a new job. And at the time, I had an opportunity to get a free security course and then get my license. So I did that. Looked for a job, got a job as a bouncer. Worked as a bouncer for about a year. I also worked for a company that does event security. So Blues Fest, Jazz Fest, Folk Fest, all that. I was like a security guard that would like check people's bags and make sure they didn't bring stuff they weren't supposed to in and stuff like that, and make sure people weren't doing stuff they weren't supposed to. And then after a bit, I went on paternity leave for my first kid.
Nice.
And then when I came back, I wanted to get a better job. Got a job in a hospital doing contract security. Saw that there was an opportunity to make twice as much working non-contract security. So within 4 months, I got hired on doing that. And so I don't have my university. I only have my high school. So that's pretty much, I'm at the peak of where I can go right now.
And what are you making right now?
I make close to I make about 38
like
an
just
hour.
Hourly.
38 or
48
so.
an hour?
38.
38?
Yeah.
Do you know if you come jump on a service rig in Alberta, you could start that as a starting wage?
Yeah, but then I would have to live in Alberta.
Yeah, which sucks, but
yeah,
that's a
big minus. I'm sorry.
Why?
I know a lot of people I really like out in Alberta, but I couldn't do it.
No.
Yeah, our premier is bad enough here.
Yeah.
Your premier is a straight up traitor to this country, but
yeah, like I could see your point of view on that. A lot of people have mixed reviews on her.
It's almost like a cult. I find like she can like do no wrong to some people, but like if a liberal or an NDP or were to do the thing she did, they would have no problem calling her a traitor. But I digress.
So I heard you earlier with her. You said with his 25 seats, Jagmeet's 25 seats, he was able to sway the government, right? Like kind of use.
Well, it's because they held the balance of power.
Confidence.
Yes, they held the balance of power essentially. So it means that the amount of seats that they had, they were in a unique position where if there was a vote of non-confidence, it was up to them whether or not it went. And so that allowed them to put a lot of pressure on the government. People always say that he was Trudeau's puppet, yada, yada, yada. It was actually the other way around. They were putting pressure on the government because they had the power to do so by holding the balance of power, right? And because of that, we got pharmacare, dental care, those are expanding to almost everybody in the summer, right? Anybody with that makes well, not you because you make so much, but anybody that has a household income of $90,000 or less, which is more than half the country, by the way, will be eligible for this if they don't have dental or pharma with their work. I'm covered, like I'm double covered, so I don't have to worry about that stuff. I mean, it's not about me; it's about us,
everyone.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Don't think I'm some rich motherfucker sitting.
I don't think you are. I haven't gotten that impression at all.
I started with nothing, and I still have very close to it.
Like the same. But I understand that because it's the same. Like I started working when I was 12. My grandmother had a goat farm, so my first job was mucking goat stalls for $5 an hour and lunch. Right?
Yeah, I was more of went the more of underpaid, under the table child labor route.
Well, that's essentially what my grandma was doing, but I'm not unpaid. She did pay me $5 an hour.
Yeah, I was tarping bins at 12 years old, getting paid 1 hour. Every time I got out of the truck, I got $20. So
nice. Well, that's not bad. And then I started working when I was 14. I started working at Tim Hortons. My job was to unload the truck when it came and to sweep and clean the parking lot. Nice. And so I made probably $20, something like that, every time I did that. And then at 15, I got hired at Tim Hortons, and I worked at Tim Hortons for about 5 years.
Wow.
So and then even when I moved to Ottawa, because I'm from Brockville originally, it's a small town. I started working in like Tim Hortons, Subway again, and I mean, I've always taken pride in my work. That's one thing that was like instilled in me, and I like to think I'm kind of a hard worker or whatever. I tried to quit from my Subway job, and my boss offered me $1 an hour raise, so I stayed. And you gotta
take it. Yeah.
But like, you know, I also think I'm very privileged and lucky to be able to, you know, I didn't come from absolutely nothing. My parents, you know, I still grew up in a loving household where I was encouraged to, you know, work hard and take pride in my work and stuff like that. So I'm quite privileged in that way. But
and you don't feel that Pierre Poilievre doesn't. You don't side with him at all with anything that he says?
Nah.
Just, no, straight up.
No, I'm okay. So I used to be a conservative, right? I used to be, when I was door-to-door salesman, I was very pro-capitalist, conservative. You just need to work harder, pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah.
I was very ignorant of the way that things actually work. Right, it was my privilege blinded me in a way, right? Like, sure, I was doing well, but I was very privileged to be in that position, and at some point, it's around 2013, when I realized, you know, the all wealth is generated through labor. So us as working people, we generate all the work, or all the wealth rather. So we generate all the wealth through our labor. The vast majority of that is siphoned off and stolen by the ownership class. So the people that own everything are taking most of that away. And so that's kind of what flicked in my brain to realize, you know, that's not good. I don't know. But yeah, and so now I'm just very pro labor, pro working people, pro union. I think that everybody should join a union. I think that that we should bargain together as working people for better wages, for better working conditions. We need to democratize our workplaces and get more democracy infused into our workplaces, because if the workers are in charge of everything, they're not going to vote to send their jobs away to another country.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, I wanted to ask you this, and I don't want to get off topic before I do.
Yeah.
So, if Jagmeet, so let's say, what if the Conservatives won a minority, and Jagmeet signed with them on that? Basically, the same thing he did with the Liberals, but
if the Conservatives got a minority, you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would that not just work all around better than the Liberal NDP coalition?
I will forgive you for calling it that. I'm not going to snap on you, but I think minority governments are what works best, regardless of who it is in power. I think minority governments are ideal because it forces parties to work together to be able to pass legislation, and you're going to get better quality legislation that way, regardless of who the parties are. I don't really, in my heart of hearts, I don't feel that the Conservative have the best interests of regular working folks at heart. I think that they have the interests, besides putting up a facade to get votes. I think
you just think it's all a facade. None of it's true.
Right, and we don't have very much regular working people in politics, do we? Right?
No, but
they're business people. They're rich. The only people that can afford to run as a member of parliament is typically rich people, and the ones that raise the most money are the ones that win most of the time.
Yeah.
And so what happens is every 4 years, when it's time for re-election, and you've got your hat in your hand and you're asking for money to run your campaigns, what ends up happening is that the people that are funding your campaigns, that's who you're going to be beholden to, not your constituents, right? You're going to pander to them and put up a facade that you care about their issues, but if it comes down to it, and it comes down to pass legislation, what you're going to do is you're going to pass legislation that disproportionately benefits the people that give you money to be able to run every 4 years. And that's just an unfortunate reality of the political system that we operate in, right? We have first past the post, which is undemocratic. You can get 39% of the vote and get a majority government. You have money in politics. So you have all of these big special interest groups with a lot of money. They can basically dictate the direction of political parties with their money. The Conservatives get the most money. The Liberals are behind them. I think they get about half, but they're both pro-corporatist parties. So they're gonna toe the line, not rock the boat, so that they can keep getting that corporate money coming in. The NDP, people are always saying NDP's broke, and NDP's broke that. But I mean, it's because they're basically depending on many small dollar donations from regular working people, because that's who they fight for. That's who they're beholden to, right? At the end of the day, Alberta actually has the largest amount of NDP members. Did you know that?
I do know
that blew my mind.
A lot of people do in Alberta. Like, I know my wife is like NDP and would vote NDP.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I don't have nothing against Jagmeet.
Hey, we hit our goal.
I just don't see where he just doesn't have, in my eyes, what it takes to go to be a prime minister to cover the whole of Canada. You know what I mean?
I don't understand what you mean, but I hear that a lot.
Yeah, well, it's like
I think he's good.
Yeah,
I think like ideologically, what he's actually gotten done he's only been the leader since what was it, 2016, I believe.
Yeah, I think close to that.
So in the last 2 years, he's gotten more done than any NDP leader since Tommy Douglas, who got us healthcare. Right? Tommy Douglas was in a similar situation where he had a certain amount of seats. He held up the balance of power, and it got us healthcare as we have it today. Right? It's not perfect, but we have public healthcare because of Tommy Douglas. And since him, the NDP leader that's accomplished the most for Canadians, for regular working class Canadians, is Jagmeet Singh, right? With pharmacare now, dental care now, child care now, school food program now.
And that all helps.
Anti-scab legislation that didn't exist before, so not allowing scabs to cross, like making it illegal for them to use scab workers. But that's only on the federal level, but it's something, right?
Yeah.
He also one of the biggest problems that we have for our cost of living here in Canada is monopolies, telecom monopolies. We also have, what is it, like 3 or 4 major grocery store chains that own all of them, right? So that's a problem too. So we pay the highest telecom rates in the world, if not the highest. It's one of the highest in the whole world because of monopolies.
We're paying a lot of the highest of everything.
And Jagmeet Singh proposed a piece of legislation that would strengthen the Competition Bureau. What it was meant to do was to break up monopolies, because that's one of the biggest problems that we have in our cost of living. Is that in Canada, it's a big problem that a lot of these industries turn into monopolies, and then they can charge whatever the fuck they want, and we have to pay it. We have no other choice, right? You can't really choose. There's not really much to choose. You've got Shaw and Rogers now are combined. You had that choice before that you don't have anymore. So your choices are very limited. Like my internet right now, I'm on Starlink because it's the only internet that'll work in the boonies where I live, right?
Yeah.
We're getting 5 soon, and as soon as we do, we're going to switch, so I don't have to get Roman internet anymore. But union for renters would be a great idea.
Tesla. I love Tesla.
That'd be a union
Tesla.
for renters would be great. And, yeah, that's a whole other conversation with the rental situation where landlords are colluding with apps to raise rents on people and price fix rents. It's a whole problem. Greed is ruining our cost of living.
Oh, for sure. No, and I don't know what the housing prices or rent is like over there, but I know the rent where I'm at is
insane. It's insane everywhere.
Like $2,800 a month for, you're looking at a 2-bedroom apartment.
That's I pay less than that for a 4-bedroom house mortgage.
Oh, I was looking at a 4-bedroom house because, me and my wife, and then she has 2 kids, right? My 2 stepkids.
Yeah.
So we're trying to look at a little 3-bedroom place, and I got a brother who's younger as well. He just turned 18, so I'm like, if I move him in, help him out get started. You're looking at the end of the day, $3,400.
Jeez.
A month
for the mortgage.
That's just to rent it.
Oh, to rent. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I also think like if you can pay the rent on a place.
You should be able to pay the
you
mortgage.
should be. You can pay the mortgage. It's cheaper usually, right?
Well,
but that's another big problem
I bought a
too.
house when I was 19.
Yeah.
And my mortgage rate for a 3-bedroom house with 160 acres is $831 a month.
Wow.
That's my mortgage.
Do you want to rent some of those acres out? I'm a farmer.
That's out in the middle.
Hobby
that's about
farmer.
half an hour from the local town.
Okay.
Right. That's in the nearest town. It's about half an hour. So, which is fine by me, right? I don't mind living out in the boonies, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of where a lot of people this day and age have to go. If you can, like in my work position where I am, I work on a rig, so I bounce around town to town. I leave home for 21 days. I come back for a week or whatever, and then I leave again. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's my life. That's what I have to do to make my 100K a year, right? It's a shitty life, don't get me wrong. But
yeah, I don't know if I could bounce around like
I'm
that.
in Grand Prairie, which is a hub for oil and gas, and I want to live there, right? Like if I can move my family down there, I'll be home every night. But like I said, you're looking at $3,400 a month for that.
Yeah, that's a lot. Because I remember even pre-COVID, I lived with my brother in an apartment. After I split up with my ex, and it was $1,400 for a 2-bedroom apartment. That same apartment now is going to be closer to $2,500. Just post-COVID. Nothing has changed in that building. I guarantee you, that building is from like the 60s. I guarantee you, like we had power outages all the time because the wiring was so bad in that building. I guarantee you nothing has changed. They're just jacking up the rents because they can.
Yeah, my buddy was moved out of his house at 18, right? We're in our hometown. He started renting a place $1,350 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
Right. He moved. He went to Red Deer for schooling. Who spent a couple years down there, come back to move into the same apartment because he wanted to go back to his old job that offered him a higher pay wage than what he was making in Red Deer. They wanted $1,850 a month for the exact same apartment. He went in there. He said nothing has changed since he's left.
Oh yeah, no, it's just greed.
It's
just wanting to extract as much profit as they possibly can out of working people, right? Because we need housing. Housing is a need. It's something that we have no choice. We need we need housing. And so they're totally exploiting people's need for housing in order to extract profits. And it's something that somebody needs to address at some point.
Yeah. And you don't believe that Pierre Poilievre's plan to bring housing costs down and cut bureaucratic tape, you don't support any of that?
all of the bureaucracy that he's talking about is at the municipal level. So the federal government really has no control over that. I think he's proposed using punitive measures but that's not gonna help. What's happening in Ontario? So we have a conservative government in Ontario. But they don't have the worst way for municipalities to build more houses. What they do is they have a housing target. And if the municipality hits that housing target, they get extra money.
And an incentive.
And it's an incentive it's the carrot rather than the stick, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so that has been working. If you look at the municipalities, most of them are hitting their targets now because they want that extra money. Because that's extra stuff that they can pay for, right? I think that he's proposed forcing municipalities to lower development costs. But I was talking about that before with somebody else. All that's going to do is force municipalities to increase their property taxes to make up for that lost revenue. So it's going to come out of one hand and then go into another, essentially. So it
kind of helps, especially to the rent. Like if there's some rich millionaire who, like you said, like a lot of people, like it's a monopoly on housing. If they got to pay more property tax, that should increase. Let them who have more houses pay more tax on those houses.
But that hits people like me who pays property tax for my house, right? Because property taxes went up over 3% for my municipality this year. And municipalities across the province are seeing the same thing happen because of, cuts to other sources of revenue. Because you can't really cut it from one place without them having to make up for it in another place. And so my municipalities actually received housing accelerator funds, right? You've heard of the federal program to give municipalities money directly. It's called the Housing Accelerator Fund.
Yeah,
they've used that to they've pushed through nearly 300 permits in 1 year in a town of less than 10,000 people.
Well, that's good.
And 40% of those are mixed. So 40% of those are, they have to have a certain amount of geared to income or lower, like affordable units, as well as your other housing as well too. So 40% of it is that, and a lot of them are apartments as well too.
Yeah, and then so
they're building. People are building.
Incentive was like that. I heard him mention that was kind of, he's going to give a carbon tax incentive. And what's your thoughts on that?
Carbon tax incentive?
Yeah.
Like what? Yeah. I don't know.
Well, his pitch was, as opposed to taxing everybody, his idea was, what if they gave incentives? Like, if you reach net zero as a company, you get an incentive for that. Instead of, like, if you get it, like, let's say you personally buy an electric car, then you, on your taxes, get an incentive, you get a tax cut, a tax break on that. That was his ideology.
We used to have that. So in Ontario, we used to have like something like a $20,000 rebate if you bought an electric car, but the Conservative government got rid of that when they got into power in 2018. That would be that would make a huge difference. I could get one right now, right?
Yeah. Was that a provincial thing?
Or it was provincial. It was provincial.
Yeah, well, he was saying it as a federal thing, is that's what he was going to do. It's for corporate companies, personal, whoever. It's more of an, instead of everybody pays the tax, acts the tax and give incentives.
So, like, if you go green, you get rebate money or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
You get an incentive, you get a rebate, or, he doesn't have... I never watched it long enough or got to the full detail of it, but to see exactly where he was picking. But I know that he said both corporate, so like if a company themselves, like Synovus or whatever, an oil company wants to hit net zero, they get an incentive and a tax cut on that. As a personal person, you get...
So the carbon tax already was that, though. The carbon tax already was that. So when I was talking about externalities before...
Yeah.
Essentially, it's a financial incentive for you to reduce your carbon footprint.
Yeah.
That already was a financial incentive. Like you would get... Yeah. But everybody was opt into it. Save money. Yeah. But I mean, so Pierre Poilievre is going to have to do, even if he gets rid of it, he's still going to have to do some sort of carbon pricing. Otherwise, we're going to face tariffs, trade tariffs from Europe. So either way, we will have to do something. So
we'll have some form of it.
400. Yeah. KQ is saying that they got $400 every quarter in rebates, right? A lot of people are going to miss those rebates, which is what I'm kind of bummed about. I probably pay more in carbon tax than I get back in a rebate, but I mean, it's not about me, it's about us. So, like us as a whole. My way to reduce that is I was going to get an electric car when my payments were up on my car, and then use that for most of my travel. It'd be nice is if they got rid of the tariffs on those Chinese EVs. They have 100% tariff on those.
Power bills like there?
It's like depends.
What's the average?
Depends, but it's like I think like 150 a month.
Oh fuck! I wish. Like my power bill, the highest power bill I seen was $984.
The highest? Are you electric heat?
No.
Damn, dude. Yeah, well, yeah, Alberta's really fucked when it comes to that because they really deregulated electricity in Alberta. And so I used to make all my money off of deregulation. I was a door-to-door salesperson selling energy contracts. And now I'm totally against even the job that I used to do, right? I don't even think that job should exist. They deregulated here in Ontario as well too, and all it did was drive up the prices. When they first deregulated electricity, it was 5 cents per kilowatt hour. Now it's up over 20.
Yeah, no.
Depending
like
on
my average power bill is around 300 right now in the winter times.
Okay,
it can get gross, and then I've got propane at my new place. And that's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Somebody's going to give me a rating here in a second in the comments. 5? Ah, shit. Oh, no, they rate my farts out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my audience is a little bit off, but it's okay. I love them. Most of the time my hydro's at $30 to $40. Damn, that's really low. Good. But I have a 4-bedroom house, and we actually don't use electricity for a lot, so it might even be lower than that. Yeah, our propane is a lot though. We spent over $1,000 for the year in propane because we have a propane hot water heater, a propane stove, propane furnace. Everything's propane and propane accessories in this house. So,
and the taxes being put on that don't like.
Well, we'll see. Now there's not going to be any more carbon tax on that. I mean,
well, that's what you're saying, but I feel like the moment that either of them get elected, anybody other than the Conservative get elected, because we know like the NDP, you could vote for them, but they're not getting it. Not this year, not this run. Right, we could agree on that.
Oh, there we go. My wife corrected me. It's about 102. I was going to say 120, but I didn't want to be wrong. So it's about 120 a month in hydro.
Yeah. Okay. And then gas.
She's the one that obviously pays all that.
Yeah, she takes care of it.
Oh yeah, she takes care of me good.
She takes care of the bills. I like that.
Yeah, I probably should. I'm too busy on here every night talking to conservatives. So.
Yeah. No, and then.
Hey,
where was I? Yeah.
What's up, Corpse V?
So, for the people who aren't voting NDP, would you go conservative or liberal?
I personally think that the liberals aren't as bad as the conservatives, but that's from a socially progressive standpoint, right? So, I don't feel like the conservatives care about the most vulnerable communities at all.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a tough question. What do you think of LGBTQ?
I think that they should be supported. Like, what do you mean? Like, think? What do you mean?
Trudeau spent over $11 billion on LGBTQ in his term.
For what specifically?
Fundraisers, support, the total cost on everything that was connected to LGBTQ came to
shit. Those are rookie numbers. We got to pump those numbers up, I think. I don't know. I've never even heard that before.
$11 billion.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a group of people that have been historically very marginalized, and there's a lot of outright hatred towards that group of people, right? And
as there isn't a lot. Every group's hated. Every minority group is hated.
Yeah, like there's a lot of vulnerable or like, there's a lot of marginalized groups. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, historically it's been pretty bad, and especially like trans people recently. It's been a trend to hate on trans people, which is not cool in any way, shape, or form, in my view. I mean, they're people, right? Like just like you and me, that deserve respect. And they're definitely not getting it, especially in certain areas of the world. This is gonna go south. I hope not. Good night, Mama Goldilocks.
No, can you do you getting good at math?
Yeah.
What's 11 billion divided by 40 million?
Oh, well, I'm not that good at math in my head, but I can calculate that. So 11 billion.
Yeah.
So that's 9 zeros divided by how much? 40 million?
Yeah.
$25.
$25.
Yeah.
That's the number you got, eh?
Yeah.
I feel it's more than that, and I don't know why.
Calculators don't lie, bro.
Calculators don't lie.
You said how many billion?
11.
Oh, 11 billion. Let me try this again.
Yeah.
I think I fucked up.
Yeah, I think that's 1 billion.
Divided by 40. So $275.
That's wild.
What's
$275 per person went into that?
Yeah, well, $400 per person in Ontario went into a spa in downtown Toronto that Doug Ford got fucking scammed on. So I think that. Yeah, well, they shut down Ontario Place in downtown Toronto. They gave millions of dollars in subsidies to this company because they allegedly had all of these spas that they controlled in Europe, which ended up being one, and they only had $1 million in total assets. The whole thing was a scam, and they've been sent hundreds of billions of dollars. By the way, there's more than 40 million people in Canada, just FYI. They were sent hundreds of billions of dollars for a complete scam, basically using our tax money to fund private enterprise, right? So
yeah,
I'm being invaded.
Over 40 million people in Canada. What year?
There's 48 million now, I believe. Is it 48, chat? Is it 48? Population of Canada. Oh, it's only 40 million. 40.1 million. Okay. Shit. Somebody lied to me and I didn't even look it up.
What the fuck?
They were also trying to fearmonger immigration too, so that's even worse.
Fearmonger immigration?
Yeah. Yeah.
Immigration sucks. I support
I love immigration. I wouldn't exist without immigration. My mom's an immigrant.
How many generations ago though?
My mom?
Yeah.
My mom.
When did she? Your mom?
Yeah, my
One
mom.
generation, I guess. Where'd she immigrate from?
United States.
From the United States.
The thing is people don't have a problem with me being a second generation immigrant because I'm white. So,
how much did every Alberta resident spend to fix abandoned oil wells?
yeah, that's true. That's a good question too, as well, too, right?
I don't understand that question.
Well, the oil companies, right? They abandon wells, which they need to be cleaned up. They're called orphaned wells, and Danielle Smith gave them billions of dollars to do so.
Can you let good Liam know that I am First Nations?
Oh, okay.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, you can you can say it.
You can say. I don't want to speak to him directly.
Are you the same Johnny I spoke to before?
I don't think we've ever talked.
Oh, no, okay, never mind.
I just scroll one and then I.
What nation? What nation?
Woodlands Cree.
Oh, okay. Do you speak any of your language?
I used to, but it's just a dead language now.
Oh, as sad as it is. I don't like to hear that. That's a big thing for me. I actually learned some Ganyageha in January. I was taking courses. It's down to 1,500 people. We're at risk of losing a lot of First Nations languages, so I think it's important.
Well, residential schools and all that kind of put a real massive.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's the G word, right? Taking people out of their culture to change and remove that culture altogether. That's the G word, right?
Yeah. Well, I tried to learn from my grandmother, and to try to talk to her about it, it was almost like the moment I brought it up, she gave me this look of like, "Hey, we can't be talking about this."
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I could direct you. I could direct you to the place that they teach Cree as well too. The place that I learned Ganyageha.
20 billion was spent giving money to oil companies by Alberta.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. $20 billion was given to oil companies in Alberta to do the orphan wells, right? So, what's the population of Alberta?
I don't know. Well, I think it's only worth 4 to 8 million.
5 million. So let's do that math real quick. So what was it? 20 billion Q? 20 divided by 5 milli. So that's $4,000 per person in Alberta. Just for oil companies to do something that they're legally supposed to do, right?
Yeah, and they did not.
And that's another example of an externality right there, right? They're not even bothering to pay for that issue that they're creating, and now the government has to come and bail them out, and now $4,000 per person in Alberta is going to do something that, you that's probably way higher than the carbon tax, right?
4,000 for sure. Yeah,
this is actually a really good point that I'm gonna sear into my brain.
To what extent you ever you know what the Orphan Wells project is?
I know that it's basically oil companies that basically left these wellheads.
Went bankrupt.
Yeah.
Do you know how many jobs that creates, though?
Well, do you think that that's a good trade-off, like $4,000 per person for a few jobs?
In my position, yes. Because I know everybody on my crew makes more than that a month, every 2 weeks. So if you got Orphan Wells, 40 million at 10,000, probably about.
But why isn't the oil why aren't the oil companies paying this instead of the taxpayer?
Because they're paying too much on carbon tax.
No,
it's a joke. It's a joke. You can laugh.
It's not funny.
It's kind of funny. You had a little joke in there.
But yeah, no, they definitely not. They can pay for this shit, right?
Of course.
That's the problem I have, is that these are multi-billion-dollar corporations in a lot of cases, right? They have a lot of money to flood the brainwaves with all kinds of propaganda.
Okay, now I got one quick question, another one. So, Conservatives last term, right, with Stephen Harper.
Yeah.
How do you feel that the dollar was at its highest?
So that was mostly a result of America doing worse and not really indicative of us doing better. And not to mention the dollar dropped over 30 cents under Stephen Harper as well, too, because it was closer to 70 cents when he was done.
At the start or the end of it?
Near the end. So it didn't, when we were over par with America, that was around 2009, 2010, and he wasn't gone until 2015. Let me just pull it up. Canadian dollar over. Pivot. I don't think they like that you pivoted on that one. So. Okay.
Oh, good debate one, all right.
Sorry?
Nothing.
Oh. Historical exchange rate. I'm trying to find the chart that I saw before because it shows. This is just this year. Because people talk about like the 2 cents that it dropped in the last couple of months as if it's like the end of the world, but under Harper it dropped fucking astronomically, right? Not one. Oh, it's back up, eh? And it's back up, jeez. Canadian dollar exchange historical. No, stop. I want to see show me the. Yo, man. It's not going to show me the data that I want. Oh, that's British pound. I don't care about that.
For the people who are saying I didn't seem upset about spending a few $1,000s on oil companies' problems, I know how much they support and flood into Alberta. There's a lot of money that is fled in, especially like a lot of youth groups and all sorts of stuff around here is all supported by oil companies. A lot of the programs and activities for kids and seniors.
Do you think that might be like a confirmation bias, though, that since like you're involved in that you
it totally could be.
You know what I mean?
It totally could be. Yeah, but
it's like, hard to criticize what we do.
How many jobs are being created by it? How many good paying jobs are being created?
Yeah, I don't think that's a good trade-off, though.
No, I don't think that you were complaining about $250 to support a marginalized group, but it's okay for $4,000. You're all good with the $4,000.
Okay.
Oil companies make enough money. They don't pay equal amount in taxes. They get tax write-it off. And I know this. My brother makes $6 million a year. I make way less. I pay $35,000 a year in taxes. He doesn't. So don't tell me that they're paying equal amounts. Yeah, he employs lots of people.
Yeah. I didn't say they paid an equal amount of tax.
Well, they should. Why shouldn't they?
They should pay their fair share.
They should. But what I'm saying, though, is the $11 billion that was spent on the LGBTQ, I'm not going to see a dollar of it. Nobody's going to see it.
Are you going to see a dollar? You're not going to see anything from the $4,000 capping those wells. I am not. But you know what? I'm intersexed. Shut up for a second. I want to speak. I'm intersexed. I am in my 60s. My whole life, I was beat up. I was treated like shit. For the first time in my life 4 years ago, the LGBT community accepted me as a human fucking being.
That's good.
No, these programs
so
are
let's
very important.
Spend the $25 to find the people that need the support so they don't off themselves.
Well, I fucked up, Flutter. It's actually 275, but still,
Okay,
it should be
whatever.
it should be at least triple that, in my
opinion. It shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
It should not be an issue. We never put a cis person in jail for having sex with their partner. We did for the LGBT plus community up to and including the 80s.
And
so tell me.
Think of all the people, like if we're supporting people, right, and allowing them to be who they are, how much more they're going to contribute to the economy as well, too, right?
Well, to the 90s. Sorry, the 90s.
If the bottom line is money, right? People that are able to live their genuine selves, live their life without fear of,
And if you're going to tell me that the numbers of those people went up, do you know what? When they stopped tying my hand, like people like me, hands to their desks, do you know how many more left-handed people there were in the world?
Yeah.
Lots. It's the same thing.
Yeah. What do you do for work?
I'm a psychologist.
Oh.
You're being analyzed right now, Johnny.
That sucks. No, that's all right. My woman's a psychologist as well. How's that student debt doing for you?
It's all paid off. I actually got my education through the military.
So you took it out?
I worked it off, yeah.
Well, to an extent, yeah. But you go and get it. If you did not get it paid off.
I worked it off, buddy. I worked it off.
How would you be? Do you know what the average pay is for a psychologist or somebody, a support worker with a degree? Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at pricing and like a job, you're looking at $28. That's cap.
Oh, I'm more than that because I'm an actual psychologist, not just a cap. Like I when I got out of the military, I finished my education and I made way more than that. Like I did finish my education.
You went all 4 years.
I got my master's, which is 7 years at the university.
7, yeah.
Same as a doctor.
That. All right. That's a lot of money, and I don't see the benefits of doing it.
I do. I raised 17 kids.
The benefits of what? Of having psychologists?
No, not of having psychologists.
Okay.
Well, maybe. I don't go to psychologists, so I wouldn't understand.
Why not, dude? You have a tough job. Why wouldn't you go and see somebody?
Because they're expensive.
Is it not covered? You have like this crazy good job, but like I don't pay a dime for my therapist at all. Like it's all covered through my insurance.
That's not covered.
It should be. Then your oil company isn't giving you the benefits that you actually deserve.
Yeah. How do you not have benefits?
I don't have benefits for psychology. I got benefits for chiropractor and dental and
Well, then you're sorry.
You probably
need to
do have
a little.
You probably do have a certain amount. Like mine right now is $2,000 a year. Mind you, I'm in a job where we need it more than most, but because of the shit that we see.
I think the government should be covering from our necks up. They should be covering our teeth, our eyes, our mental health, our everything. And if they're not, then we should have the oil companies that hire half of Alberta should be covering it.
Imagine like all the people too that their mental health is suffering post COVID as well too. Like that was.
And I'm retired. Actually, I'm retired. And when I walked out, I know 20 other people that walked with me.
Mm-hmm.
That must be a good feeling to be retired.
Because Alberta, well, I'm freaking 67. It's about time I retired. Sorry, I'm allowed
psychology ain't a hard job, though, is it? Like physically demanding? Can't you do that till you're
physically demanding? That doesn't. Do
you want to know how mentally demanding it is?
Physically demanding is not the only.
Do you want to sit and listen to trauma all day?
people are liking that pivot a little too much.
How do you,
But sorry, when they're pivoting, the pivot's a good word.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Pivot!
Mentally taxing. So as a psychologist, what do you do? What does a psychologist do?
You help people work through their mental health issues.
And what does that mean?
Families stay together. You help children that are not going to, that might unalive themselves from unaliving themselves. You help people that have addictions not have go through the stages of not being addicted. You keep families together. You keep children in homes. You help kids get off the street and into society. I adopted 15 children that were on the streets in Calgary, and they're no longer a menace to society. They are all productive members of society. And they were my own children. I adopted them. They're my kids.
Sounds very, very important and very valuable to society, actually.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're 24, dude, right? So, like,
Yeah.
the physically demanding
all my
job,
babies.
that's going to catch up to you, bro. Like, I'm 41.
What are you going to do when your body gives up?
Yeah, like, I have a cousin.
And I know
I'm gonna
lots.
die.
Do you know
Straight
how
up
many?
die.
Do you know how many guys
That's
from the
not a
oil
good
field sat
outlook.
across?
I'll
Do you
be
know how-
here until I'm 55, and then I'll be gone.
Do you know how many guys from the oil field sat across from me after their bodies gave out early and they couldn't support their families anymore and they wanted to take themselves out?
Oh, lots.
Lots.
That's not
So,
good.
and the oil field doesn't
There's
take
not
care
a day
of
that
the
goes
oil
by that I
field
don't
doesn't
think,
take
should
care
I,
of
just
the
beard
oil
be left
field
just a
does
little
not
bit
take
more?
care of you when your body breaks.
And
No.
I think that it
Nobody
should.
takes care of you in your body.
No, but I
should.
mean, we're a society, right? Like, we should be taking care of each other. That's what I want my tax money to go to. Like, I
I
pay
don't
close
like
to
tax money.
$20,000 a year in taxes. I want a
I don't
return
think-
on investment.
I don't think that our tax money should be going to subsidize oil companies.
Yeah.
And then the oil
$6
companies
billion a
are
year.
dumping people that are physically hurt because they fell, they got injured, they got broken. They go onto workman's comp, but they don't get dealt with. Their world falls apart. Their wives leave them. Their children they have to pay child support. And your oil company doesn't give a shit when you're done, when you're broken.
No.
You're going to be that homeless person on the street with no family, no help. I've seen it.
It's a common thing in our line of work, yes.
Yeah.
But
And what is the Conservative Party doing to support that? Nothing. Danielle Smith is breaking our system so bad. She is driving psychologists, she's driving doctors, and she's driving nurses running from the province. Running. And she's bringing in people from elsewhere and paying them next to nothing. And in the public system, she's breaking the public system so she can justify charging you to have surgery, to have help.
Yep. Same thing's happening in Ontario, but to a lesser extent.
Oh, she's fucked it. She's fucked it.
That,
just
and
had-
she's
I
going
just
down
had
to the
thoughts.
U.S. to pander to fascists.
Yeah, and she's got her skirt over her head running down to Trump all the time, man.
I was going to say it in
I
a
love
less
how
flutter went there. I was not going to, but that's okay.
She's the biggest cunt of a premier we have. And have had for generations in this. Like, we had shitty premiers before, but she tops the icing of the cake.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And I'm related to a premier. I'm related to a former premier. And he would
Is it
be
Rachel
horrified
Notley?
at what she's...
No. Whoa! Why is there three people here? What?
Yeah,
what's
we're
going
letting
on?
everybody. We're opening up the. We're getting late,
It's
so
ascendant.
after 2:30 in the morning, I kind of open it up to everybody. We were talking for a long time, so we ended up going past
yeah.
time.
It's a
Sorry,
3v1.
I won't continue attacking, but that's my feelings on this province and this country. And
So you're in
you're
Alberta.
marginalized. You're marginalized.
Yeah, there's a lot of people from Alberta in my community.
He did a lot of. He's a conservative. I don't like conservatives, but he did a lot of good shit in protecting this province.
Yeah, I'm proud of my uncle. He's a good man.
Peter Lougheed.
Peter
Lougheed. Lougheed.
Why do I know? Yeah, I know that name. Yeah.
And you know what?
He's named after the man.
Smith is undoing one of the things I think he did the best, and that is making it so open mining doesn't pollute the water source for southern Alberta. But she's opened it up. Let's poison Calgary and Lethbridge. Let's just...
By mining coal in the Rocky Mountains.
Let's mine the Rockies. Fuck.
Mine them Rockies.
Yeah, we don't even use coal anymore in Ontario. We shut down our coal plants in like.
It's an Australian company. It's not going to profit Canada at all.
We also still have coal plants in Canada, though, or in Alberta, though.
Yeah, in Alberta. Yeah, no, in Ontario we don't.
Most of them have been converted. Most of them have been converted, but we still have the most, and that's not good.
Yeah, that's so bad. Again, talking about externalities, like. You're basically pumping particulates straight into the environment. And
there's also a study done by... Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, when I used to work door to door, I would talk about windmills with people. And this one lady was talking about how the windmills were making her sick. Yada, yada. But she lived downwind from the Lambton coal-fired generator. It's like, I don't think it's the windmills that are making you sick. I think it's the fucking...
A coworker of mine tried to bring that up.
Yeah.
I would also like to point out that there was a study done by 21 independent researchers. I think there was 4 Canadians on that team, but they were from all around the globe, and they did an air quality study over Athabasca and the productions over Athabasca, and they found that between 600 and 4,000% of the emissions have been under reported. 4,000%.
You should have seen before that, though. In the 80s and 90s, it was horrible. My husband was on the environmental assessment for Fort Mac, and before they put filters on those cokers, they were just. We had three-eyed fish in the water back there.
Have you ever seen pictures of Sudbury back in the 70s?
Yes.
No trees.
Have you seen? Did you know that Canada is home to the biggest pyramids in the world? The Fort Mac fucking sulfur pyramids. Go take a look at them. They're huge. They're fucking huge. They're bigger than the pyramids of Giza. No.
I'm not anti-oil and gas. I'm responsible oil and gas. We don't have responsible oil and gas.
We don't need to continue burning it.
Fort McMurray has, I can say, they have restored the buffalo population. They've done all sorts of things, but that was forced on them. Look at what went into doing that.
Yeah, I could see where you're saying where you're coming from. They need to be regulated
exactly right.
And have
when people like us are arguing against the oil industry, it's not to say we need to get off oil and gas. No, we're not fucking stupid. We know we need petroleum products to exist. We need petroleum products to exist in this world. Unfortunately, you know what I mean? There are things that we need from petroleum that we haven't found quality substitutes for. So yes, we need that shit. But we don't need to fucking burn it.
Don't need to burn it to like heat our homes? Or...
No, we don't need to wreck our environment. Is what he's trying to say.
Can we put like the environment stuff on pause for like 20 years?
No, we can't.
No.
My guy,
we've done it for the last 50 years. We've known most of my life that we are fucking up the environment. We put it all
together to fix acid rain.
And did you like the 50-degree weather? Like. I don't want 50-degree weather in the summer. Just saying.
Imagine. So because there was this whole we need to stop the global temperature from rising 2 degrees, right? How fucked is your body when your body temperature raises 2 degrees? How fucked is your body after that? You're not doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Earth. Same thing with the Earth. When the Earth globally goes up 2 degrees, it ain't doing well.
Okay, you said you were Native. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My husband's native. My children are all native.
All 17 of them just so happen to be native?
You should know that the Mother Earth doesn't handle the shit that we're handing her right now. You can't tell me that Okay, I did pivot. But just saying, like, you can't say that.
No, and I understand.
That's kind of misleading.
Why are we throwing
That's a little
on
bit
the
misleading.
Why? How is that misleading?
Because realistically, we're just messing up the carbon cycle. I mean, it can be.
Fuck
It can
off
be
with
fixed.
the carbon cycle. No,
It can be
with that
fixed.
bullshit. You're not going to argue that carbon bullshit right now. You can fuck right off with
No,
that.
no. So I took a university class on this. So
You took
university
class. A class. Okay, spend your lifetime studying this shit.
yeah, because like
Now listen
the
to those
problem
experts.
is that it's causing the greenhouse effect, right? Are you familiar with the greenhouse effect?
Yes, I'm familiar with the greenhouse effect.
So the greenhouse effect is reversible due to the fact of the premise is just that there's too much carbon in the carbon cycle. Now it's still bad, like global
Have you
warming
talked
is
to
real.
the dinosaurs about what? Can
you talk to the dinosaurs? Shut up, bitch.
Well, hey, well,
Excuse me?
We're having a good conversation.
I was just about to say, what the fuck? And literally his name is what the fuck? Alright.
But very few other countries like big pollution. Like look at China. They're not doing
They're not the
anything.
biggest polluter per capita. That is bullshit. Don't bring that argument up. Do you know who the top 5, 6 worst polluters are on the planet per capita?
Canada's
Canada,
number
Saudi
12.
Arabia, Qatar, Afghanistan.
Canada ain't on
No,
that list.
Afghanistan. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We are
So-
top 6 per capita. You
We
fucking
need to
twit.
be-
Look it up.
We're not.
We need to be voting for
Yes, we
leaders that
are.
believe
Yes,
in
we are.
carbon
We are. It is
sequestration.
a fact. We are number 6 for the worst polluter per capita. Our trees do not make us net zero. You fucking twinks.
Why are you so mad? Calm down.
Because you're a fucking moron.
No,
And fucking
nobody
stupidity
said
for
that we were
fucking
carbon
20-something-year-old. Like, we are
To
the
be
top-
fair, it is an argument that comes up quite a bit in here. People seem to think because we have billions of trees that we're carbon neutral or carbon negative. It is an argument that comes up quite a bit in here.
We are the 6th
I don't
worst
know that
globally.
you've made that argument, but
Yeah, no, I'm just making the argument that if you capture carbon, you can reverse climate change,
Actually,
right? Like
I'm going to
this is
say
how it
something
works.
about. Do you mind if I say something about that? And I'm going to pump Alberta for this. We are building one of the world's largest carbon capture places in the world in Alberta at the moment, and it happens to be in the town I'm living in.
I just Googled and it says
never seen
Canada is in the top 10 to 12 largest emitter of greenhouse gases globally.
yeah, that's what they just said.
That's what I just said. That's what I fucking said.
You said 5 in the top 5.
Yeah.
No,
I said
number
top
6.
I said 6.
Number 6. Yeah,
No,
we're
we're
10
number
to
6.
12.
Oh my
No,
god!
no,
So look
we're
at the
number
list.
6.
Well, look at the list. Well, look at it.
We're number
Open your
6.
eyes And look.
Where? I don't see the one where it says we're number 6. I'm looking at all these and I don't see the 6. We're 12, 11. We're 6.
How many countries are there in the world? We're not at the bottom. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
We're really high because
the rest of the
we
rest
heat
of
our
the
homes in the
countries.
winter time, and we have a large oil and gas sector. All of the top 3 or 4 places are
Oil
all
producing countries.
oil producers. Yeah,
Iran, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and fucking what is it? The one with the K? Beside Iraq. Yeah,
Kuwait, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it says
United Arab Emirates as well too is up there.
That's the other one. And then we
Yeah.
are next. We are after them. So
But-
look at like.
We're at a disadvantage.
Well, we're at a disadvantage.
I mean,
Yeah.
if we had a government who responsibly used the carbon tax fund to build carbon sequestration,
Well, so like
and
when we had a
actually,
national
getting
energy
rid of it.
program in the 1970s that Paul
How
Mulrooney
about
sold
oil
off.
companies invest in the mess that they're making? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
but it's-
sorry, we don't hold them accountable enough.
Yeah, it's not
What about
just
the
oil companies.
national energy program that we had that Paul Mulrooney sold off? Huh? What about that?
I don't know nothing about that, so I can't have a comment on that. But
Yeah,
I do
you're
know
too
that we got a
young. You're too young.
We got a winter. We have winter, and it exists.
Yeah,
And
and electric heat pumps work up to minus 20 degrees. A furnace can then kick in at a very low setting to help pump the heat through the house. A heat pump, an electric heat pump, is 300 times more efficient than a furnace. And it
Yeah,
works
that's a
so
big
much better
thing.
in the summer. Works so much better in the summer as an air conditioning unit. It pumps the heat out of the house.
did you just not hear my power bill?
Yeah, and if you have an electric heat pump, and if we actually
Yeah,
got
you could bring
regulation in
that down.
Alberta, if we have regulations in Alberta, and we're gonna go fucking we've overpaid in Alberta for the last 25 years. We've overpaid our electricity bills by $24 billion. That's with a B.
Yeah,
Because
I
of
know that.
deregulation. 24 billion. Billion. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, but
Cabs will win.
they're not covering. They're not regulating it. So now I got the choice: heat my home with a wood stove, which produces a bunch of carbon, or pay X amount of dollars on an electric stove. I have an electric heater.
The amount of the wattage that an electric heat pump gives off versus running your fucking furnace it's massively different.
Alberta needs to diversify what we use for electricity.
That green energy moratorium that drove away hundreds of millions, if not billions, of dollars.
Yeah, it shut down lots of projects in our town.
We lost so much money from that would have fucking paid for so much that we're fucking struggling with.
So
right
if
now.
I remember
It's unbelievable.
correctly, heat pumps too, for every kilowatt hour that they use, you're getting 4 kilowatt hours of whatever heating or cooling or whatever.
Yeah, and like
Because
when I
they're
shared like
basically
my hydro
they're
bill,
pulling it out of the air essentially.
400 times efficient.
mine is electric heating. I pay at most $90 in the winter.
What
Where are you
province are
from?
you in?
I'm in BC, and that's
Yeah,
every
that's-
2 months.
But you have the Bennett dams, and I have lots to say about the Bennett dams too as well. But the Bennett dam, you have all those dams up north that they flooded indigenous lands.
Yeah. And farmer lands and stuff too.
Yeah, they flooded our farm as a kid. I watched the waters roll in. It was sad.
Well, that one was too short.
Oh no, that was a 1.
Yeah, oops.
Oh, wasn't that? So you got a lot of lands flooded to go green?
Yeah.
Dams aren't green necessarily. They're renewable, I guess, in some sort of way.
They're
But
clean. They're 100% clean. So I don't know what the issue is.
they're not
dams are 100%
environmental,
clean.
though.
They're
They're quite destructive to
It's
the
a
environment.
trade-off. It's
Have you ever
100% a trade-off.
have you ever seen it roll in and take out your farm and and all the indigenous land? There was watermelon that grew up north, and it was the only place in the world they frickin' grew, and we flooded it.
So I got a question for you, Flutter.
And do you want to know what else? We're shipping all that electricity to the States at almost an eighth of the price that the rest of BC is paying.
Yep.
Yeah,
BC
same
could
thing
pay
with
almost
the oil.
nothing
Oil's
if
getting
they
produced
kept
and
it in the
sent south.
province.
Demand for oil and
You
gas.
have to make money. You have to balance money.
They're not making money. They're shipping it out at a loss.
It's not us making money, Cole. Like it's not, the money's not going into Canada. It's going into the pockets of capitalists. It's not going into Canada. So I don't really care about some corporation making more profit.
Dams, right? Like people maintain these dams. They don't just run by themselves, you know.
No, they're maintaining.
Okay.
There's some people
What's your
working,
point?
but the trade-off isn't equal.
My point is that those people get to, make an income, which is good for them, right? So we should
good
be
for them.
supporting.
So we
It's
should
good for them.
destroy the environment and sell off
The
all of our power for a fraction of the price, just so a few people can make some dollars.
I mean,
I
we
think
shouldn't
that they should be
necessarily sell
selling
the
it at-
power, but the dams
I think we
are.
should
Well, that's
be
what's
selling the
happening,
power at
right?
the same
That's what I'm
rate.
telling you. Like, we as Canadians, as working class Canadians, do not benefit from these things if it's being sent down there for a fraction of the price, right? The only people benefiting from that are corporations who are extracting profit from that. That's not
And they're in
that
the
profit
States.
is
The
not
company's
going
not even in
towards
Canada.
jobs or whatever, right? That's
And the companies are in the States. They're not in Canada.
yeah.
Killer, I got a question. What is your alternative for heating my home?
I told you.
Heat pump.
An electric heat pump.
An electric heat pump. Even
Yes, because I live in Edmonton, and my monthly bill for power is about $80, and that's not 100. I pay an extra fee, so my power is 100% clean and green energy. I pay an extra fucking fee, and I live in a 1-bedroom, and that's $8 a month. That was
So you said they work down to -20.
2025, something like that.
Because well,
It
20
gets colder than that in Alberta.
Yeah, well, where I am, it went to -23 twice for 2 days out of the entire year.
I spent
most
3
in
weeks
Alberta.
at -40 this year.
This year was different. This year
You can get it so your heat pump also flips over to the gas when you need it.
Yeah.
And the heat pump pushes it out faster.
Yeah.
How much
And
does
you
your
use
heat pump
less
cost you?
heat.
You can get it. You can also get a rebate for them too, I believe,
Yeah, you
through
get
the
the
federal
rebate, yeah.
government.
Yeah. And they do not take out your furnace. It is simply an additive to your system that supplements your furnace. And when your furnace does kick in, it doesn't need to kick in very high or
Guess
very
what?
powerful.
Putting in a heat pump also makes jobs for people.
Yeah.
And like I said, in the summer, you won't spend hundreds of dollars on fucking AC because heat pump works so much better than an air conditioner.
Yeah, but why
Because
why do I have to learn
can
from
reverse.
some random guy yelling at me on TikTok for me to know what a heat pump is?
Well, why are you not looking into other ways to heat your home? Are you just like, oh, I guess this is it. I don't know any other way.
What?
Are you just like quick to give up? Like, do you not like look around for efficiencies in your home? Your home.
I did. I got a wood stove.
How's that an efficiency? Yes, I get. Okay, it's a cost-effective one, yes, but it's not an efficiency for your home.
It heats my home for cheap, so.
It's cost-effective, but it's not efficient.
Possibly.
He's
probably
also
not
24
efficient.
years old, Q.
I know.
Cut him a little bit of a slack there.
Well, when you're going into when you make as much money as he does and trying to fucking look into the housing market, I'm fucking sorry. You should fucking know better.
What? Bro. What do you mean I should know better? Know better? How
If
do
you
you
tried to look into buying a house and not just renting and actually look into actually trying to buy something, you would know. You would be looking into ways to make your purchase much cheaper or ways to save money.
I just bought my house, that's all. I just said I like that house, I want that one.
That's what we deal with in Alberta, small town. That's what we deal with.
What? So
They have
I'm
money to
reading.
go, I like it. I want it.
I'm reading
have money,
about.
I have to
I'm
get
reading
something.
about heat pumps. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I think I might need to get one.
He sounds really, really. Maybe you sold the thing on heat pumps. Like maybe done one good thing. They're only like $1,200.
Look into a heat pump.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's about
Look into the federal
$7,000, but it replaces your AC and your furnace.
You get a 24,000 BTU mini split air conditioner for $1,600.
And how much is that going to cost you on your power bill?
I don't know. I have to look at the hours.
Stupidly ridiculous amounts of money. AC is fucking expensive. A $7,000 heat pump will pay off in 2 years.
This is a heat pump. It's a 24,000 mini split air conditioner hyphen heat pump hyphen Sentinel 24.
I thought you were talking about a thing. I didn't hear that
He's
bit. I didn't. I heard the just the air conditioner bit. I didn't hear. Sorry, my headphone cut out for half a second. But the
conditioner and heater. Oh, suitable for -5.
You wouldn't even need the
-15.
air conditioner in Alberta because we don't have humid summers.
You
That
need an
air
air
conditioner?
conditioner. I'm sorry.
No,
I
that
go into a
our
heat
summers
coma
are getting
without one.
more humid every year. Like as the average
Ooh.
temperature rises, humidity will also rise with it. That's they
Yeah,
got
okay, well, I'm from out east, and that shit is fucking deadly. it makes me. I got heat poisoning so many times from the humidity.
Yeah, the humidity in Ontario is pretty bad. I live in a swamp essentially, so it's really bad.
It's like compared to like Alberta, no, it's not.
Yeah, we don't understand humidity.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I don't see where it doesn't give me a kilowatt hour per run.
Oh yeah, that's got to be a 9 at least.
That was a 9.
That was a good one.
So look at more than one source. Look at more than one result, right? Look into the federal programs, and like from the what would it be? I guess it would be the CRA that you would get these things from. Fucking ask fucking Reddit, man.
That's fucking Reddit, man. You sound so mad. Why are you so angry?
No, I'm just saying, like, Reddit is a fucking fantastic place
So
to
the
fucking go.
the her plus rebate, I guess, is 7,100, and then the purchase is 14,000. So it's about $7,000 to get it put in. According to this is on Reddit.
That's what you would pay. That's what you'd pay for a good furnace and a good
air
conditioner. But
anyways, yeah.
So with the heat pump,
in Alberta, they would also have to look at one that would.
The heat pump is both. Like it does both.
Does it come with a furnace?
No, you don't get rid of your furnace.
Like it is
So
both.
yeah, so you have to buy both then. It's
No.
decent.
No. If you already have your furnace, it's in a small addition.
Yeah. So you need both though.
So
when
this-
one goes, so you need to replace both.
God.
So this on this post here, this person, it was heat pump furnace hybrid system.
Yeah, that's what you need in Alberta.
So it's
when
it
the
is
temperature
both.
gets
Like
too
it is
low.
both in one.
Yeah.
When the temperature gets too low, the furnace will kick in, but instead of kicking in at fucking full blast max heat to try and heat the whole house up, it'll just kick in like maybe 25 to 30% and get that heat distributed with the heat pump, right? You wouldn't be blasting your furnace as high and for as long. You are saving money.
Yeah, or you could live in like a bungalow type arrangement, and you wouldn't need as much. You wouldn't need as much.
Well, a
heating
big thing
anyway.
too is insulation. Insulation, you can increase your insulation so you're not losing as much heat.
Actually, I just moved into a brand new house that was just built this year.
Nice, yeah.
And the insulation, my power bill has gone down literally in half.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you're
because
basically leaking heat if you don't address that stuff.
Alberta walls are made of cardboard. I can hear my neighbors when they fucking walk in and like just are talking normal level.
What if they're doing it?
Yeah.
That's the best part. You
I
jerk
heard
off
them one
and
time.
listen.
I heard them one time. But see, they're straight. I don't.
Then you hear the flaps and it just throws you off.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Oh my
If you're
god, we got
really
another
like that,
mango.
Good timing.
Oh my god. Yo, mute your mic, bro.
I don't know how.
Only
The little
KQ.
microphone.
I was
in the
gonna say
bottom?
nobody wants to hear you piss, but that's not true. KQ's probably.
No, that is true. No, I don't want to.
Oh, okay.
He's not mango.
Okay.
I want my mango.
You can fart, but I can't piss. That sucks.
Yeah, that is kind of hypocritical, eh?
That's very, very hypocritical.
Yeah, that's okay. I think it's a little different though.
A little different. Rate my piss. Did you hear
Rate
that
it.
strain?
That was actually
No,
kind of
two.
weak. You might need to go see the
two.
doctor, bro. It sounds
I
like
was
you
trying
have
to keep it quiet.
sounds like you have an obstruction.
Obstruction.
at 24, yeah, that was a pretty poor one for
That's
24.
That's two.
Did you have to shake it?
Poor kid.
You'd be surprised how fast that fucking thing starts failing you, kid. It fucking goes quick on you.
Speak for yourself.
All right, well, I'm just going to take away from the night. Get a heat pump and get your penis checked. That's not enough max flow.
No, seriously? Fucking go to your doctor and get your junk checked regularly because fucking reproductive health is so important, especially men. They're so scared to have their doctors look at their fucking balls.
I would
Let
say
your doctors look at your balls.
90% of my friends that are guys at my age are ending up with cancer because they didn't do it when they were younger.
It is so fucking important. My dad died at 59 from fucking lymphoma. He was the healthiest man I fucking knew. Go get your balls checked.
You gotta go. Yeah, that too. You gotta the doctor's gotta he's gotta go all the way up to the third knuckle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way up there.
Be like, oh no, not quite there, doc. Just a little to the left. Try to get him.
Go Habs, go.
I don't know. After that, I might be less offensive with that LGBTQ 11 bill.
What the?
I'll be like, yeah, no, that wasn't too bad. I support it.
Honey, come spend a night with me and I'll turn you.
Oh my
Jesus! Oh my God! What is my show? What does my show become?
I have a lot of straight guys that come back and say, "Can you do it again?"
Yeah.
Nice.
There's more than one way to milk the prostate, right?
No, I don't do it that way. My throat is divine, is all I say.
Note over here.
I'm honest and open. I don't care. There's no filter.
Yeah, we know that, Q.
I was watching a thing. It's like some guy explaining that there's 3 ways, and like he explained sounding. Oh God! Don't look.
Oh God! No!
Yeah, don't look that up if you don't know it.
Sandboxes.
Is it? It's sounding.
Yes. It's sounding. Oh, it's so horrible.
And it's so bad for you if you do it wrong.
Oh no!
It can go so wrong so fast.
Yeah.
There were men who did roses. Roses.
Okay, I got a quick question.
Yeah.
Grayson, are you also part of the LGBTQ plus team?
Yes.
Wow.
Why? Wow.
Wow, that's the first time I've ever gotten that reaction.
Wow.
No, it's just very rare I get this many people in one chat.
Well, you're on my show, bro. It's like
I was born this way.
This is what leftists are like. We accept queer people and all over. Yeah, come on, baby. Let's hear you.
Mango. Yeah, let's have a piss off. Piss off. Piss off. Piss off.
Piss off.
This is the shit I watch on my graveyard.
Well, we scared someone away.
We scared Cole.
Yeah, that's okay. This isn't a toxic Andrew Tate space. Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, like, I'm a cis white straight dude, but I mean, people are people. Do whatever the fuck they want.
You're not fooling anyone, buddy. I see the Canadians at.
Hey. But I got some wigs on the way.
Here we go.
Anyway, I gotta go to bed now.
The wig from my barista era of the blue short hair.
Okay, so small town, you've got to make this a regular thing.
Oh my God!
First of all, I want to congratulate you. I congratulate to the Scabs on making it to the playoffs.
Yeah, you like that?
Now, we lost another.
I do like it. Actually, you know what? All this patriotism is like it's straight to the vein right now. So I'm actually happy as a Maple Leafs of Toronto fan.
You know what? I went into that building and I went, wow, this is where Toronto fans lose every year. And
listen, Flutter, it is once again our year. It is once again our year. I was thinking we'd start on the lakeshore. The parade will go down to
Do you remember
Bay Street.
1967? Do you remember
We're gonna go. We're gonna finish. We're gonna finish up at Nathan Phillips Square.
What happened in 1967?
Present the cup there. And
hey, I'm gonna be right close to Nathan Phillips Square next week.
We're definitely not going to lose in 5 to the Montreal Canadiens again. That is not a thing that will happen.
Boston's not in it this time.
Has it ever happened before? I'm wondering. Just thinking.
Listen. This is our final humiliation. Okay.
Listen, Linda.
You're going to do another year? Are you trying to wait? How many decades? You got to wait till the 27.
Do you know what? When it's all said and done, when we finally win it, you know what? All you motherfuckers are going to say. You're going to say they never stop believing. Those stupid fucking idiots. That's what you're going to say.
I swear to God, if they win this year, I will convert to a Christian.
Oh, I would never bet that. Oh,
because I know there's no chance in hell that they would.
Hold on. Let me start screen recording and then say that again. Just in case. I mean, I don't have much faith in them.
Are you a Christian, Mango?
Fuck.
No, I'm saying I don't have much faith in the Leafs.
You heard it here first, folks.
No, I don't believe in Christianity. I believe I am the one true God.
Hell yeah! Oh, this is a weird.
So
this still
small
puts
town.
the comments over me.
I think you need to wear like a different wig every day, like a mullet, preferably.
I've got a couple. I've got a couple of really nice ones coming.
Small town, like you need to not have the camel and the wig. It works way too well.
Yeah, you like.
I
that,
had
right?
no idea how much wigs actually cost until I dated a black chick. That's actually insane, the amount of money that they charge you for a wig.
That's for the good ones, though. That's for the ones that are made out of like real hair.
I have a few from when I had cancer. Do you want them?
I want wigs. I want them. Give them to me. I will drive down to you first.
Small town. You want some cancer wigs?
My sister donated the hair.
Nice.
You know what?
I donated hair one time.
Wigs.
Back, I think it was like 2016. My girlfriend actually, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and you know what really struck me was like, so when it was clear she had to start chemo immediately, is she had everything. Like I was like, your mortality is in question right now, right? And she was like, I want to get. Will you please get me some wigs?
Yeah, that was the first thing I worried about was my.
That was the first thing on her mind. Yeah. And I just. I was like, like what? I don't care, blank check, right? But, they're super expensive. But like, what struck me was that in that like, how many times have you faced your own mortality? That was her first thing, was my hair, and I'm a bald man, so that like,
my husband's bald too. My husband's bald too, and he was like, "But you look beautiful bald," and I was like, "Fuck you."
Well, I'm just curious about comments here. I just glanced down. Good Liam said his alpha brain couldn't handle it. Fragile alpha people. So what's he's? I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Hey Mango, how many galaxies you got?
I just got here, so
because we spent $250.
Oh, I'm not starting that game with you again, dude. Fuck that.
Guys, don't do that.
We scared
Liam is just talking about the person who was up before you. He asked, "Hey Grayson, are you part of the LGBT community as well?" And I went, "Yes," and then he left.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not what happened.
Oh.
That was a fucking one.
Hey, Mr. Hip, thank you for the galaxy.
I would say that young man was very respectful.
What do they call that?
I thought he was going to go south very quick.
Yeah, no, it was okay. Like there was a few things that I was kind of like, but like nothing over the line.
When he got upset about spending $250 on supporting
per person, like I don't care about that.
But didn't get upset. He didn't get upset about $4,000
per person.
Per Albertan.
That was
going to make a difference. Because Albertans are like,
late.
Wild burning.
Look. We need to stop. We need to collaborate and listen. Small town, he's back with a brand
collaborate
new edition.
And listen. Ice back with my brand new invention.
It grabs a hold of me tightly. Flows like a harpoon. Daily in particular, nightly and really particular. Will it ever stop? I don't know. I don't know, but turn out the lights and we will glow. So to the extreme, rock your mic like a vandal in this live.
Hey, we have the same
light up the stage, and we're gonna burn these conservative chumps like a candle. That was just off the top of my head. Off the top of my head.
Small town.
I didn't even write that down. It just poured out of me.
Sorry, what was that, Flutter?
Did you get a good deal on that mic? I got it at 75% off. It was a good deal.
Oh dang! My parents got it for me for Christmas 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
I need one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm getting a mic stand for it at some point.
Yeah, because you touch your desk too much and it picks up all of your desk thumping.
Yeah, I don't even know how I would do.
I just got it, and when I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons, I'm an old lady playing Dungeons and Dragons. But
nice.
I have problems with D&D. I do too.
Small town is a sexy bitch with hair. I've always wanted to play D&D. Well, I shouldn't say I've always wanted to play. I've always been curious about D&D.
You know, the first game I played in a long time was about 2 weeks ago, and in that game, there's 4 generations of my family playing.
Nice.
Jesus Christ.
Small Town, do you play D&D?
No, but I would.
I've never played it. You know what? Actually, I went to a friend of mine invited me out when I was like a teenager, and I went to this like party, and just the vibes were off, and like he was wearing all this makeup, and it just like threw me off. So
why?
Like I kind of like stayed for a couple rounds and I just left. Ended up finding out, you know, he ended up living his authentic life. Let's just say that, but like. The vibes were just off, and I wasn't able to like concentrate on the game, and yeah, I think that it sounds like an awesome idea, like creating a story and like and you know, I've always played like role playing games and stuff like that.
That's what
like
it is.
Final Fantasy.
Have you ever played Mech Warrior?
Yeah, it's pretty good foreplay. So.
Look at the baby.
Okay,
I just get distracted and start quoting memes whenever I play.
Yes, everybody that I play with does that. All the young kids, and I'm too old to know the references, and then they have to stop and explain it, so the game lasts 6 hours because I'm an old lady.
My most recent game,
Well,
my
you look a
friend.
day over 29, Jazz. You're not an old lady. Sorry.
I'm in my 60s.
But do you know what? There's a point to be made here. Like my favorite game when I was a teenager was Final Fantasy, and
which one?
The reason I loved it was because it was like reading a novel, and honestly, like so later on they made these games way more sophisticated, where they were like hack and slash games where you had to like just push a button faster, right? And I just stopped buying them. I would have given them unlimited money. Like just because I was reading an article in a magazine, and the you know, I don't know his name. It was like Mega Saka, you know, Watsubichi or whatever his name was, and I hope that's not insensitive. Like it was just whoever that guy who made those games. He was like, "What do you want us to just like give you an airship in every game?" And there's a guy named Sid, and like and then you slowly explore the map and expand your horizon. And I'm like, yes, just do that 75 times. Like actually do that 125 times, and I just open my wallet for you. Like you could still be making them today.
Have you
but
ever played
they
Baldur's
fucked it all
Gate?
up.
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's
Go
Gate's
look
pretty
it up.
good.
Yes,
There's
my brother
a
keeps telling me
new
that.
one.
Yeah, you'll
What's
like
the
it
new
if
one?
you like.
Columns or something, or
They
what's the
just
most
released
recent?
a new Baldur's Gate yesterday. Like a
Oh
patch.
yeah, the number 3.
I'm just saying, like, there's something to be said for just doing that 175 more times. Like,
Yeah.
I will just give you all of my money.
No, my most recent game of D&D, my friend sat right next to me, the only trans person at the table, and he had made a trans character that, by the way, is 7'12", not 8 foot.
7 foot
course not.
12.
7'12", and so every time there was like one creature that was like 8 feet tall, and he stops our DM and goes, "Do you mean 7'12"? And my other friend just goes, "No, I mean 8 feet tall."
I love it. So they just like over-indexed on like strength, right? So they're just like non-perceptible. Small
Right
town.
now I'm playing a rogue.
You're into gaming. What do you think is the best game out there right now? And I mean like
Don't
not
say
hack and
Rust.
slash, like cerebral fucking like. Somebody sell me on a game, because gaming is dead to me right now.
Don't say Rust.
I'm loving South of Midnight.
South of Midnight, that's good.
South of Midnight?
Yeah.
Somebody pitch me.
If you like the story
I thought,
aspect,
Yeah, if you
like
the story.
RimWorld
Yeah,
is really, really
I just want
good.
a good mystery.
If I knew you like a year ago, I'd be helpful in this conversation, but I stopped playing video games, so I don't even know. Like,
All I'm
what's,
doing these
for
days
that.
is I hooked my Oculus up to my I built a gaming PC, my first one,
Hell yeah.
and I'm playing. Damn it, what is it called? I've had too many whiskey. DCS World. So like I'm flying F-16s and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Guys, you should
wanna
try
get
this
Flight
new
Sim.
game called Minecraft.
Minecraft is new, is
Oh my
it?
god, I've heard of that.
I play that every single weekend with my son. We just went and saw the Minecraft movie with his grandmother, and then he made me go back and see it with him again.
Nice, and everyone's alive and uninjured. I've seen those videos online where they get to a certain part of the movie, and then everybody just starts tossing shit around the theater. Like,
no, you know what? They're schooling us.
impaired, I
They're
can't do
dunking
that.
on us. So like the whole crowd. Like, do you remember how you felt when you went to see Lord of the Rings or like Star Wars?
Which one? The first one?
They're dunking on us. The kids are dunking on us old people right now. Like the enthusiasm in that theater, like we've never achieved that. Our generations did not come anywhere close. Not even remotely close to that level of enthusiasm.
My generation and Harry Potter. We swarmed the theaters. We swarmed for Harry Potter. The millennials have that. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm telling you, if you were in this theater, Killer, if you were in this theater, you'd be like, damn. It's like seeing Michael Jordan for the first time. Like culturally, they absolutely dunked on us. It wasn't just some of the people in the theater. It was like, first of all, it was sold out, and it was everybody yelling and screaming every time like a new character popped up.
There weren't any destruction in Canada, though, right? Like,
Well, I remember like going to see Star Wars, and when R2D2 appeared, everybody clapped, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is a crazy cultural phenomenon." No, not even. Like, this was insane.
The Rocky. I agree. I was gonna say the Rocky Horror
Picture Show.
I still haven't seen it.
Tommy's
Are you kidding
amazing.
me? I used to go
Tommy is
every long
fantastic.
weekend. Every long weekend, go watch the
still do
Rocky
it.
Horror Picture Show in Calgary.
They still do it once a month in Edmonton at what is that fucking place on White?
On
I think
White.
they still do it once a month. Yeah, White Ave.
I don't know. I can't remember.
There's a theater
Have
there.
you ever? You weren't around during the Roost, were you?
Me?
Were you around for the Roost in Edmonton?
No, I got here 10 years ago.
Well, you missed the Roost. You missed big time fun.
My
I missed,
favorite,
what is it, Big Ed's or whatever it was, the only queer bar that was in the city.
that's like a thing. I thought you guys just went to normal bars, but like,
No, there's queer bars.
Oh my God, go to Toronto, Mango. Have fun in Toronto. Go to Cruise and Tangles.
I'm going
I
to
miss
Pride.
Cruise and
I'm going
Tangles.
to Pride in Toronto this year.
Fuck you.
I'm
you.
a
Go
lot
to Cruise and
closer.
Tangles.
I'm a lot closer to Edmonton.
I'll
than
go
I
check
am
it out
any
next
other
week,
major
Q.
city. So I like.
Small town. You shouldn't go alone.
Oh
If
God.
you do.
Yeah,
Cruise and
don't go
Tangles.
alone. And if you
Cruise
do,
and Tangles.
Oh God.
against the wall the whole time. Like,
I mean,
Are you
make sure
going
you
to
have
Pride,
friends.
small town?
What's that?
Toronto Pride. Are you going to go to Toronto Pride?
Is it next week?
No, it's in July.
Oh, okay. No, I'm gonna be in Toronto next week, so.
I would not.
Let me take a quick
Go to
poll
the
on this
Oasis
panel
Club.
right now.
Go to the Oasis Club.
Let me take a quick poll on this panel right now. How many people have voted?
already
Small
voted
Town, have you
tomorrow.
voted yet?
No, no.
I haven't
voted
voted
my ballot.
yet.
No. Flutter, have you voted?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Killer, have you voted?
I mailed my ballot last week.
Okay. To the left of me, I'm not sure your name. Have you voted?
Not
Grayson?
yet, but I'm going to next week. probably.
Mango, don't vote.
I did vote as a joke. But
No, don't vote. So everybody intends to get out there and vote, right?
Yes.
well, I voted. I mean,
I'm even taking my grandson with me, and he's not even a year old, and we're going to discuss
good.
it.
My
Do you know?
My mom
do you know
made
the
my-
only thing that is going to hold back this majority for the Liberals? I don't know how everybody feels about it, but
Not happy.
like if people get out and vote, if we drag out the vote, it'll be a Liberal majority. If we don't, it's going to be a Conservative minority. Like,
You know what?
let's not
We
kid
don't-
ourselves.
We don't
It's-
have a
it's
liberal
how many
person
people
to
come out
vote
and
for,
vote.
and I'm voting NDP. Sorry.
oh, I see. You don't want me to vote Because
you're talking to a bunch of NDP supporters here, buddy. We don't like the Liberal Party.
Well, no, I'm not.
No, I know that, Killer. But I'm an NDP guy, but I'm also extremely anti-conservative.
I'm anti-conservative, but
I mean, I heard you say that you should.
But the Liberals need to run liberal people in Alberta if they want a liberal vote.
Look, there's such a thing as just not destructing the entire country. That's a thing. So, if the Conservatives get in, we're all fucked.
No, we may not be, because listen here, even if the Liberals don't secure a majority here, and they do get a minority.
I don't want a Liberal majority.
And Polyev does secure he remains as opposition. He's actually looking like he's going to lose seats. And they kick Scheer out for gaining 20. They kicked Scheer out for gaining 20 seats.
Mm-hmm.
And
listen,
they kicked
Killer,
out,
I don't.
out O'Toole for losing 1. Polyev is set to lose something like 30. He's done. He's cooked.
Let's be clear, Killer. I just want to say one thing. Let's be clear. We're all going to regret Carney because he is a conservative.
I'm not voting for him. I'm not voting for him.
No. Hear me out. I'm saying that collectively as a consciousness, we, regardless of who you vote for,
I agree.
Carney is a conservative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think at the end of the day,
I'm going to be sitting here. I already know he's a conservative because I'm disabled and at the bottom of the food chain. I know how fucked I am these next 4 years. I don't need somebody to explain it to me. I am.
Well,
fucked.
I will still tell you whether you're
also in Alberta.
Killer, I don't know who you think you're speaking to, but
I'm going to be sitting here.
I will absolutely tell you that Carney is a conservative whether you like it or not.
No,
and he
I know
is a
he
conservative.
is.
What I'm trying to say, excuse me, I was speaking. What I'm trying to say is that I would obviously prefer a Liberal minority because of how much the NDP was able to achieve. The amount that the NDP was able to achieve in the last NDP, Liberal minority was terrific, right? I don't look. It's okay if you're upset with me for saying that. I'm not going to fault you for that, but this is just the truth, right? And I think that I'm never going to feel abashed for speaking the truth. I think at the end of the day, we're all very concerned about a conservative government because the Conservatives are going to harm people like you. I'm a privileged white male.
I'm fucked either way.
Who is fully able-bodied. Like, I am the epitome of privilege, dude.
Yeah, I don't need you to explain it to me.
Listen, I'm not explaining anything to you. What I'm saying is I'm worried about you. I'm worried about you. And
he's worried for you.
So a conservative government would mean bad things for you, and I care about that.
Do you want to know what?
So what I'm saying is that,
Mr. Hip, I live in a conservative province. I already am facing danger every fucking day I walk out of my apartment. I don't need you to tell me how worse it's going to get. Because I'm going to be sitting here telling all of you, because you're going to say we're going to regret this. I'm going to be sitting here saying, I fucking told all of you.
Why don't you listen to the nuance in what I'm trying to say? Is that I think at the end of the day, this is necessary. But at the end of the day, we're going to look at the Carney government and not like it. Is that better?
I think there's a discombobulation of what's happening right now. I think you guys both want the same thing, but I think you guys are somehow fighting.
I'm hearing care for you, Q. I'm not hearing anything but care for you.
Listen, I don't want to go into any more detail, but I would benefit in a lot of ways. Like, listen, I care about you, dude. I care about what happens to you. I care about your human rights. I care about
okay, so if you did, you would be advocating for the NDP. You would be telling people that
I am advocating for the NDP.
If you give a shit about the people on the very bottom, you would be trying to get the NDP vote.
He is advocating for the NDP.
I'm an NDP guy through and through, dude. Labor class, unite. Like, what I'm trying to say is that the threat of a conservative government, like if we look in the United States at what just happened, do you know how many people sat out? Do you know how many people sat out? So what are happening to marginalized people? You're not the only marginalized people. I hope you know that.
I know
you're not
that.
the only one. There's people of color out there. There's
I'm not white.
people that I care about other than you. You're not the only one. So look what's happening in the United States right now because people were too fucking self-righteous in their fucking vote. And now they're a fucking fascist dictatorship.
You want to know my worry?
Do you even get that?
My worry is that people don't get out and vote the same as the states. That was the biggest problem, is people didn't vote.
Yeah, no, people definitely need to get out and vote. We had 62% turnout in the last election.
There were lineups around the country
in the U.S. I'm curious.
There was lineups around the country for advanced polls today that were over an hour long. People are getting out there and they're fucking voting.
That's good.
Yeah, and your NDP vote is going to fucking kill people. Fuck you.
What? Whoa.
You heard me.
What the fuck happened? I thought we were all chilling.
No, we're not. We're not chilling.
Well, I thought you guys both supported NDP.
I'm a red-blooded fucking dude. Like, you don't ever speak to me that way. Your vote for the NDP is going to fucking kill people.
Well, then, do you want to know what I have to say to that? Then the Liberals need to actually run people in every riding because there is no
Liberals
liberal,
too.
There's
Fuck
no
the
liberal
Liberals
running.
too. But what I'm saying is, if you have your fucking head in your ass,
I already told you I railed my fucking ballot. So don't fucking lecture me.
I know people who are just fucking rationing enough oxygen to live. And what do you think is going to happen to them?
I'm curious how this started. I mean, like, what are you guys actually fighting about?
You've had way too many whiskeys, Mr. Hip. You said it yourself. I think it's time you sign off.
No. If you want to scream at me being self-righteous, you're just like the fucking non-voters in the U.S. who fucking led to a fascist dictatorship. He's taking full authority over the entire country.
They're on the same side. Why are they fighting?
Actually doing anything.
Because this self-righteousness is fucking evil.
No, fuck you fucking white cocks.
I think. Wait. Let's hug it out, boys. Let's hug it out. Come on.
Fuck off, Mango. Fuck off, Mango.
Come on.
Holy shit.
If you feel something poking your leg, it's just my wallet. Don't worry. Let's hug it out.
I agree. Hip is crashing out.
Everybody hug it out. All right. Okay. So is that
Hip's crashing?
So Jazz, what's up? What's new?
The ceiling's up at the moment.
Well, it's 3:30 in the morning, and I need to go to bed.
Go to bed.
I think some of us have passed their bedtime here. I think it's time I'll just.
I think it really all depends on where you are. I think if you vote Liberal in some areas, you're gonna make sure that the Conservatives get vote.
I live in a conservative riding.
Yeah,
that's where
I live in a riding where I could literally write a dick and balls on the ballot, and it would have the same effect as voting for anybody but Conservatives.
Same.
I don't think that you can say. I honestly don't think that you can say flat that if you're voting NDP that you're going to kill people. I don't think that that's
fucking ignorant cocks.
I don't think that's like a blanket
eat a bag of dicks.
Like chill, okay.
I don't think that's like a blanket statement or whatever. Like I think in some areas you would get the same. You could vote Liberal in some areas and with the same result, right? Because you're basically flipping it the other way.
I just want to remind you, small town. I came in here with a very fucking pragmatic, like I'm an NDP guy, but I'm scared of what the Conservatives will do. And so it's not like I'm coming in here fucking deriding the NDP.
But a minority conservative government's not going to be able to do anything.
Because I want to defend against the Conservatives. Like, what sense does that even make? That doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't protect anybody. I actually give a shit about people who are marginalized. And if I was to just cast a vote for the NDP in my riding,
so if you give a shit about people who are marginalized,
I'd be just as bad as the people who sat out in the United States because of Gaza. And now what's happening to Gaza, Killer? What's happening in Gaza now?
The fucking Democrat Party didn't give the fucking
Why don't you
American
defend that protest vote? Why don't you defend that protest vote? What's happening in Gaza?
I'm not defending it. The Democratic Party didn't give the fucking Americans
They're going to put up a Marriott. They're gonna vacate the area and they're gonna put up a Marriott, Killer.
Keep fucking lecturing me, white man.
Why don't you defend that?
Keep fucking lecturing me, white man. Keep telling me how fucking wrong I am.
Okay.
Keep telling me how to react to my fucking oppression.
I'm
Yeah.
going to speak for your counselor. It's time to go to bed.
Yeah, it's time to go to bed.
Yeah, it's bedtime, bro. My bunions hurt.
Hey, Richard,
I've
come.
been at work
Lay
till day.
off the whiskey.
I'll
Guys,
be
I'm
the
going
mom in the room. I
hop off
think
the
it's time
live.
to say
Take a
goodnight.
number 3.
So
You know.
long.
Yeah,
Well,
Mango,
well,
go take your number 3.
It's time to
Have a good night,
say
everybody.
goodnight.
Thanks for all the
Go
gifts,
fuck yourself,
everybody.
Killer. Go fuck yourself.
Thank for everybody that came up tonight. Appreciate
Bag
you.
of dicks.
I appreciate the good debates.